It's about time you play tennis like the pros, and now you can. Swing Vision is an app nearer the gods. It uses AI to track your shot speed and placement using just your phone. Opponent giving you dodgy line calls? Out! Challenge it instantly right from your wrist. Download Swing Vision for free and bring the Grand Slam experience home.
Adidas Tennis is bringing the fun and flair to the courts in 2023, and you can find the latest Melbourne collection available now at tennis-point.com, your online tennis retailer. Tennis Point. Advantage you.
Introducing A-Peak Tennis and A-Peak Coach. Everything tennis players need to become mentally tough, both on and off the court. And everything coaches need to help players reach their full potential. Because we are extremely confident that A-Peak does work, we are offering free 1-month split testing to validate A-Peak's effectiveness when implemented correctly. With split testing, we'll have half your players use A-Peak, while the other half does not. Then, we'll conduct pre- and post-testing to demonstrate A-Peak's value. To take advantage of this offer, email us at apeak@apeak.com.
Tennis. What does it mean to you? Everything? Us too. For fun. For health. For life. Tennis Point. Get the gear your game needs.
So at Oklahoma State, we've always prided ourselves on having one of the premier tennis facilities in the country. One of the aspects that wasn't living up to that was our indoor lighting, and so we partnered with Schwartz Interiors, who had the reputation of being the best in the business, and they were the easiest for us to work with. Dan and his group came in from day one and gave us a plan that would allow us to have the best lighting. And with us hosting the 2020 NCAA National Championships, that's what we wanted. We wanted to showcase our tennis facility as being one of the best in the country and being a venue that would allow us to host the best championship possible.
Tennis is superb.
Tennis is fire.
Tennis is sick.
Let's go.
Tennis can change the world. Come on.
This is tennis too. Good morning.
It's my first time.
Not mine.
It's about time you play tennis like the pros, and now you can. Swing Vision is an app nearer the gods. It uses AI to track your shot speed and placement using just your phone. Opponent giving you dodgy line calls? Out. Challenge it instantly right from your wrist. Download Swing Vision for free and bring the Grand Slam experience home.
Adidas Tennis is bringing the fun and flair to the courts in 2023, and you can find the latest Melbourne collection available now at tennis-point.com, your online tennis retailer. Tennis Point. Advantage you.
Introducing A-Peak Tennis and A-Peak Coach. Everything tennis players need to become mentally
Tennis is superb.
Tennis is fire.
Tennis is sick.
Good morning and welcome, everyone, to Championship Monday at the 2023 ITA Division I Men's National Team Indoor Championships. Alex Gruskin joined by the great Mike Cation. What a weekend of tennis we have seen. 16 of the top teams in the country descended upon the XS Tennis Village in Chicago, each looking to be named the 2023 National Indoor Champion. We have just two teams remaining. It'll be a battle of the state of Texas. TCU, your number 3 overall seeds, defending champions at this event. They're taking on 8th seeded Texas, a program with so much success historically, yet competing in their first national indoor team final today. That's the context. That's the scene. With all of that in mind, our plan on today's pregame show is to set that scene, recap how each of these teams reached this final. More broadly, though, I want to start here, Mike. It does feel like we have the right two teams competing in today's final, does it not?
To that point, yeah, I think
expected them to be in the final. Just in that half of the draw, it seems like they were the ones that were supposed to come through. Texas, obviously, what they've been able to do, beating Ohio State and Michigan in back-to-back matches here at XS, has been remarkable. I'm wondering, of course, and we'll get to it, how they're going to recover today. Again, a fourth match in 4 days and 2 really physical, difficult matchups the last couple of days. But regardless of outcome here today, I think Texas is the team coming out of this weekend who actually I think we've learned the most about. They will come out of here, even if they lose today, as the biggest winner of the weekend in my eyes, just because of the fact that they were able to answer some questions, stay healthy, and most importantly, put together that resume to say, yes, we are in the top 5 in the country. We want to be in that national championship picture. And today they have that opportunity to win a national championship. To that end, I view it as an inner circle conversation. Both of these teams are clearly in the inner circle as it relates to that May NCAA championship. But, again, you brought it up. Let's start with Texas. They have been undeniably the story of the tournament. And this is a Texas nucleus that reached the 2021 NCAA semifinal. You have a lot of the same pieces from that team competing here today. In fact, Elliot Spizzirri, Sim Waldeeb, Micah Braswell, Chi Huang, Cleve Harper, they were all on that 2021 team. But last year, injuries sort of derailed the Longhorns. And that's why Coach Burke was very much looking forward to this opportunity to compete with this group once again. And to your point, 4-0 win over Wake Forest on night number 1. They look dominant in that match. And then they overcome a doubles point deficit, 4-3 over top seeds Ohio State last night. Electric 4-3 victory over Michigan, clinched by the number 1 player in the country, Elliot Spizzirri. What about this Texas team, whether it be a player, a persona? What's impressed you most, Mike?
Well, I think you start with Elliot Spizzirri, right? Listen, you talk about health and injuries. The wrist has been such a problem for him over the last year and a half, Alex. And I think the fact that he is out there just kind of up at the top of the lineup, has not lost at that spot, 2-0 with an unfinished match in the opener, and just been a rock up there, and he's kind of wheeling this team to victory each day, each match. Yesterday, providing that clinch up at the top of the lineup, you just have to be so impressed because the wrist is not 100%. You know that. I know that. I think everybody in college tennis knows that. Yet he's still there every single day, and he's making just little inroads to come over the top of the backhand and be more of a threat with that backhand that we certainly know he's capable of. And I think that's really emblematic of where Texas is at in big picture, right? Listen, Micah Braswell's not 100%. Cleve Harper obviously dealing with a bit of an elbow. You see that sleeve is there. Sim Waldeeb has not been 100% the whole time. I think, they are just manufacturing something incredibly special here this weekend. And I think the next couple of weeks after this are going to be very interesting, Alex, because you want to make sure everybody stays healthy, because that's kind of these 2 parts of the season, right? You want to make sure you're healthy for this national championship and then as well the national championship in May. And so that's going to be the real task for Texas over the next 2 months.
You're absolutely right. A couple other players I would point to. You mentioned Sim Waldeeb. He had a bad season in 2022. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He'd be the first to admit it. He played essentially 500 ball in the 4-5 singles positions for this Texas team. He is a far better player than that. And we saw the massive fall from him. And then, again, yesterday from 5-2 down to get off in straight sets with a victory over Gavin Young. So impressive. And then I would turn to P.Y. Bailey, last year's Big 12 freshman of the year. He dealt with so many different injury issues over the course of the summer, of the fall. We weren't exactly sure which PY we were going to get. We've gotten the best version here this weekend, Mike. No doubt about that. And then, again, that question at 6, is it Chi Huang? Is it Nevin Aramili? I know Nevin lost yesterday, but he's had a 2-1 weekend thus far. He has been more than competent. He has been darn good at that 6th spot. So you're absolutely right. It feels like this Texas team has experience. They have depth. They have high quality players up and down the lineup. But that's been the story for TCU all weekend long, in my opinion, Mike. When I watch this TCU team play, I don't just see national indoor winning good. I see maybe historically good. And I don't want to put that burden on them, but it's the depth they have 1 through 6, Mike. They have been exceptional this weekend.
Yeah, I know you are certainly prone to hyperbole from time to time. Historically good is it's a bold statement considering some of the teams of the past. But yeah, this is for them. I think this is their best opportunity here to win national championships. Obviously here indoor, they've been able to do it. Outdoor in May, I think will also be kind of that big test. They are the favorite coming into this match today. Yeah. There's no doubt about it, especially with what Texas has gone through the last couple of days in terms of the emotional energy and the physical energy that they've had to spend. It's been such an easier path for TCU, but you're exactly right. It is a lot of experience up at the top of the lineup at the 1, 2, and the 4 spots, but the freshmen coming in at 3 and 5, that is an extreme amount of talent in Pennington Jones. Obviously, what he's been able to do already as a professional, inside the top 500 ATP ranking. Sebastian Gorsny with a Wimbledon junior title. So it's this really unique mix of good talent and experience with youthful talent. And then at the bottom of the lineup, you have options, right? Yeah. So that's it's much the same at Texas. That 6 spot might rotate a little bit for the Longhorns, but you also have some options for TCU at 6 and what they want to do at that spot.
Well, you're right. I'm prone to hyperbole. Here's let me contextualize what I mean by historically good. When I look at this TCU team right now, they're the one of maybe 2, 3 teams, but really the number 1 spot in the country where I think, yeah, they could win 4 singles matches. Like they like the doubles point. They're exceptional in the doubles point. They don't need the doubles point. To your point, it's like, at 6, is it going to be Jirasek? Is it going to be Maxted? Is it going to be Vivez? Either way, you feel pretty good about that number 6 spot. And you touched on it, 1 through 5. The fact that Jake Fernley, I had my doubts. Was he the legitimate number 1 option on this TCU team with just so much talent up and down the roster? He's looked like it throughout the course of the weekend.
He definitely has looked the part actually throughout the last 9 months. I think you would say what he did in the fall as well. But yeah, there's the fact that he did have a loss yesterday, to your point, Alex, there were opportunities at the 2 through 6 spots where they could pick up victories. And yeah, it seems like if one person has an off day, that is going to happen within college tennis, right? There are so many options for them to pick up another victory.
You're absolutely right. And to that end, again, did they get tested yesterday by Kentucky? Absolutely. 4-2 match, saw multiple 3-setters in that semifinal. Now, ultimately, I think the biggest thing for this TCU team moving forward, who clinched that match for them, Mike? It was Tomas Jirasek, who had not played at all throughout the course of the weekend. No action in doubles. This was his first singles match as well. And I mean, he stepped up in a big way, taking out a guy in Kosnay for Kentucky who had offered a clinch for the Wildcats earlier in this event, who had played really well as a freshman. And so again, for this TCU team, they come in with successful victories. Baylor, Georgia, both shutouts. And then yesterday, the 4-2 over Kentucky. So that's how we got here. TCU taking on Texas. Here's my nugget for you, Mike, as we look at the matchups here today. This Texas core, Spizzirri, Waldeeb, Harper, Braswell, they've never beaten the TCU Horned Frogs. I looked at all the matches these 2 teams have played since the start of the 2020 season. TCU 3-0 against the Texas Longhorns, 2-0 last season. And then the big one in 2021, they went to Austin, knocked off Texas 4-3. You're going to ask me this during the broadcast, I'm sure. Let me flip it on you here in the pregame show. As you're looking at individual spots, doubles points, what stands out to you?
Yeah, I want to see Cleve Harper specifically. Just he's the one I think I'm most concerned with in terms of the health for Texas here today. Obviously, Spizzirri, the wrist, it's going to be an issue, right? That's always going to be a question. But Cleve's dealing with a bit of an elbow, so we'll see how he recovers in that aspect. I feel a little bit more comfortable with TCU at the 3 spot here on the doubles lineup, Alex. I think that's where I would say I see TCU winning this doubles lineup. I think 2 and 3 are where the easiest path for TCU, but then the 1 spot I think is more of a toss-up.
Yeah, I think it's really good everywhere. Now, from an energy perspective, and you alluded to this earlier, if Texas gets the doubles point, that's the shot of adrenaline in the arm they need, because now you can sort of see a finish line. It's a lot of work in singles, but it just becomes a little easier.
Well, it's something we talked about yesterday in their matchup with Michigan, right? The fact that they were able to steal that doubles point yesterday when we thought that there was that possibility of being a little bit flat, right? They were able to come out, steal that doubles point. Micah Braswell did not have a great day yesterday. He was off the court in about 45 minutes, losing to Andre Styler very quickly. that's why that doubles point is so important again on a day like this, right? If one of your players doesn't have that energy, that ability to go 100%, you've got the doubles point in the pocket, so you have that kind of that buffer, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I think for me, the doubles point is much more of a must for Texas here today than it is for TCU. To your point earlier, TCU does have that opportunity to have 4 or 5 wins on the single side.
Yeah, well said. And I mean, look, for this TCU team, I don't know how you're going to beat Gorsey and Vivez at 3. I don't know how you're going to beat Jong and Pennington Jones at 2. I don't know how you're going to beat Fernley and Fumba at 1. Like, they have top 10 doubles teams everywhere in their lineups. And just that last note on Sebastian Gorsny, because we saw this from the GOAT, Colette Lewis, in our chat yesterday. She was raving about his hands at the net. You'll see it in the first 10 minutes of the doubles action. To have him at 3, the luxury of luxuries. I've matured past asking for predictions because I know we're not going to do that here in the broadcast booth. We want to be able to cover the match as is. But in terms of, again, an energy perspective, you alluded to it earlier. How doubles point, you said it feels more valuable for Texas. I feel like the first hour of this match is going to tell us the story.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of difference talent level between these two teams. 100%. I actually think healthy 100%, both teams matching up. I do think it's very close to 50-50 in that regard. I think, we've said TCU can have 4 or 5 victories in a singles match. The Texas, same way in this particular matchup, to be honest with you, Alex.
Yeah.
I think that is the lone question for me today. Is Texas going to be able, for a 3rd straight day, really, don't get me wrong about that first matchup, the win over Wake Forest, but for a 3rd straight day, are they going to be able to have that which is necessary to win a national title? I just don't know. I think it's within the realm of possibility. These are all 18 to 22-year-olds, so their bodies recover a little bit faster than somebody like me, right? I understand that, but yeah, it's a tough ask. And one thing is about the body, the other thing is about the mind. It takes something special to be able to summon that up for another big matchup here today. But this is what it's all about: being able to do it here, being able to do it in May, and the fact that they put themselves in this position really says to me that they are coming out of this with something to build on, and really just a big growing point for the Texas Longhorns.
Perfectly put. And with all that said, again, coming up at the top of the hour, it will be TCU versus Texas. TCU looking to become the first team since the University of Virginia. They won a 4-peat 2008 to 2011 at this event. We have not had a repeat champion since. So that's what's on the line for TCU. Texas, again, looking to capture their first national team indoor championship title in program history. With all that said, we'll have coverage from first ball to last of today's final for you here on our Crack Racquets YouTube channel. So now's that moment. Go stretch your legs, maybe a little Monday brunch. You've earned it. Do whatever you got to do to get ready, because we've got a barn burner on our hands. It will be TCU, Texas.
Can I interrupt just for a second?
Please.
What about the people who are at work? Some people have real jobs.
And shout out to them for tuning in as well.
Don't worry about a brunch if you're at work. Be quiet about it, right? Maybe this is your lunch hour.
Well said.
Up, I think that's got to be factored in, isn't it?
Very well said. It's a win-win, and maybe take that lunch hour today.
Yeah, get headphones and you can plug it in. We'll have all that coverage for you the whole time. So, don't let the boss know.
Yeah, perfectly put. That's what I'm saying. Do what you got to do. That's the theme to tune into this match, because you're not going to want to miss it. For the fantastic Mike Cation, our super producer Daniel Westoff in Indianapolis, and the entire ITA team here at the XS Tennis Village in Chicago, I'm Alex Gruskin. Our pregame show in the books. Top of the hour, national championship, Texas, TCU. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you all soon, folks.
Tennis is superb.
Tennis is fire.
Tennis is sick.
Let's go. Tennis can change the world. Come on.
This is tennis too. Good morning.
It's my first time.
Not mine.
It's about time you play tennis like the pros, and now you can. Swing Vision is an app nearer the gods. It uses AI to track your shot speed and placement using just your phone. Opponent giving you dodgy line calls? Out! Challenge it instantly right from your wrist. Download Swing Vision for free and bring the Grand Slam experience home.
Adidas Tennis is bringing the fun and flair to the courts in 2023, and you can find the latest Melbourne collection available now at tennis-point.com, your online tennis retailer. Tennis Point. Advantage you.
Introducing A-Peak Tennis and A-Peak Coach. Everything tennis players need to become mentally tough, both on and off the court. And everything coaches need to help players reach their full potential. Because we are extremely confident that A-Peak does work, we are offering free 1-month split testing to validate A-Peak's effectiveness when implemented correctly. With split testing, we'll have half your players use A-Peak, while the other half does not. Then, we'll conduct pre- and post-testing to demonstrate A-Peak's value. To take advantage of this offer, email us at apeak@apeak.com.
Tennis. What does it mean to you? Everything? Us too. For fun. For health. For life. Tennis Point. Get the gear your game needs.
So at Oklahoma State, we've always prided ourselves on having one of the premier tennis facilities in the country. One of the aspects that wasn't living up to that was our indoor lighting, and so we partnered with Schwartz Interiors, who had the reputation of being the best in the business, and they were the easiest for us to work with. Dan and his group came in from day one and gave us a plan that would allow us to have the best lighting. And with us hosting the 2020 NCAA National Championships, that's what we wanted. We wanted to showcase our tennis facility as being one of the best in the country and being a venue that would allow us to host the best championship possible.
Tennis is superb.
Tennis is fire.
Tennis is sick.
Let's go. Tennis can change the world. Come on.
This is tennis too. Good morning.
It's my first time.
Not mine.
It's about time you play tennis like the pros, and now you can. Swing Vision is an app nearer the gods. It uses AI to track your shot speed and placement using just your phone. Opponent giving you dodgy line calls? Out. Challenge it instantly right from your wrist. Download Swing Vision for free and bring the Grand Slam experience home.
Adidas Tennis is bringing the fun and flair to the courts in 2023, and you can find the latest Melbourne collection available now at tennis-point.com, your online tennis retailer. Tennis Point. Advantage you.
Introducing A-Peak Tennis and A-Peak Coach. Everything tennis players need to become mentally tough, both on and off the court. And everything coaches need to help players reach their full potential. Because we are extremely confident that A-Peak does work, we are offering free 1-month split testing to validate A-Peak's effectiveness when implemented correctly. With split testing, we'll have half your players use A-Peak, while the other half does not. Then, we'll conduct pre- and post-testing to demonstrate A-Peak's value. To take advantage of this offer, email us at apeak@apeak.com.
Tennis. What does it mean to you? Everything? Us too. For fun, for health, for life. Tennis Point. Get the gear your game needs.
So at Oklahoma State, we've always prided ourselves on having one of the premier tennis facilities in the country. One of the aspects that wasn't living up to that was our indoor lighting, and so we partnered with Schwartz Interiors, who had the reputation of being the best in the business, and they were the easiest for us to work with. Dan and his group came in from day one and gave us a plan that would allow us to have the best lighting. And with us hosting the 2020 NCAA National Championships, that's what we wanted. We wanted to showcase our tennis facility.
Good morning and welcome back in, everyone, to our Cracked Racquets coverage of the 2023 ITA Division I Men's National Team Indoor Championships. Alex Gruskin steering the ship, Han Solo, for just a moment. My partner in crime, the Podfather, Mike Cation, doing a bit of an emceeing role on the PA announcing here of the lineups at the Access Tennis Village. But of course, if you tuned in earlier to our pregame show, you know the stakes of today's final. It'll be the University of Texas looking for their first national team indoor championship. They're taking on TCU. TCU looking to become the first team since 2011 Virginia to win this men's indoor title in back-to-back seasons. With all that said, we got players out on court. Let's get to the 3-box right away, as we want to show you coverage from first ball to last of today's final. There's a national championship on the line. If you can't get amped for this, I just don't know what to tell you. Of course, we'll start things off here on our broadcast at the number 1 doubles position, but of course, we'll show all 3 double sets throughout the course of today's doubles point. And in case you're new to college tennis, we appreciate you joining us here for today's championship match. How this doubles point works: 3 sets played simultaneously, each of them 1 set, no ad scoring, tiebreaker at 6-all. Whichever team can capture 2 of these 3 double sets, they'll take away a 1-0 lead heading into our 6 singles matches. With that said, Mike Cation back now with me in the booth. You were phenomenal on the PA as always. Introduce us to our players competing out on court.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a fun one here today with our national title on the line. Starting here at the 1 spot, Jake Fernley and Luke Fomba for the Horned Frogs. These two, 2-1. 1-1 on the weekend. They would have had another win, I think, in an unfinished match, taking on Cleve Harper from Calgary, Alberta, Canada for the Longhorns, and Elliot Spazziri, the junior out of Greenwich, Connecticut. And this is the one where, I think, listen, Harper and Spazziri come in as the number 4 doubles team in the country right now, but Fernley and Fomba, their experience going to be a real big part of this matchup today.
It's a toss-up, absolutely, and very much a balanced matchup between these 2 teams. I think the most active at the net will be Cleve Harper. That said, Fernley, Fomba, you're traditional. They're going to dip that ball low. They're going to look to go to the center. They're going to look to cross as well. It's a toss-up, absolutely, at the number 1 spot.
Let's move down to the 2 line. TCU, Sander Jong, the senior out of Amsterdam, the Netherlands, partnered with the freshman Jack Pennington-Jones, a freshman from Ashted, England, 2-1 so far on the weekend.
Game points here for P.Y. Bailey. P.Y. and Siem were excellent yesterday against Andre Seiler and Pat Maloney of Michigan. They got up an early break. They never let that break get away. I think this is the inflection point. If we see that same Siem, that same PY, Texas can take the doubles point. If we don't, it's going to be an awfully steep climb.
And PY is Thierry Bailey, the sophomore from Bilzen, Belgium. And Siem Woldeeb, the junior out of La Mesa, California, 6'4", and yeah, resurgent Woldeeb here over the last 9 months or so. As we move down to the 3 line for TCU, what a benefit to have Sebastian Gorsny down there, the junior Wimbledon champion from last year, freshman out of Austin, Texas, needs to be pointed out here, partnered with Pedro Vives, a sophomore from Spain. These guys 3-0 on the weekend.
These guys are way too good to be a traditional number 3 doubles team, and it speaks to the depth, the options Coach Roditi, Devin Bowen have for this TCU roster. It's your standard doubles. They're going to cross, they're going to close, they're going to make returns in play. This team does a little bit of everything. Again, far too good for your standard number 3 doubles position. Boy, are they fun to watch.
Yeah, and that is, we saw Colette Lewis, who is the greatest of all time in terms of covering junior tennis, especially here in the States. And she says she's never seen anybody with that kind of hands Sebastian Gorsny has. So that will be an interesting one as we move forward. Their opponents today, Micah Braswell, the junior out of Sarasota, Florida, partnered with Chi-Chi Wong from Vancouver, British Columbia, 2-0 on the weekend.
Yeah, their past 2 wins have been 2 completely different stories. This team was dominant in the quarterfinals, a 6-2 win over JJ Tracy and Cannon Kingsley of Ohio State. Yesterday, they won by process of surviving. It was ugly tennis at the number 3 doubles spot, a spot that was decided in a tiebreak. That tiebreak ultimately went to Braswell and Chi-Chi. Now, did they play well? No. Did they do enough? Yes. And sometimes that confidence, that is key. They're not going to be afraid of Vives or Gorsny. They're going to have to step up their game if they want to take it today.
Texas Christian University, the Horned Frogs, under the direction of David Roditi in his 13th season, now 11-0 on the season. Roditi, a 3-time All-American. They are 41 in the world in doubles on the ATP level. Mexico, a Davis Cup player as well. Devin Bowen, the associate head coach in his 9th year, 12 years on tour himself, got to number 39. I don't know if he holds that against Roditi. The 2-spot difference in the career high rankings.
I would. I mean, how could you not?
How could you not? Nick Chappell is in his first season as the volunteer assistant coach, but he is in Mexico. He did pick up a first-round qualifying win yesterday in Monterrey. Texas under the direction of Bruce Burke, 5th year for him there in Austin. They are now 10-1 on the season. Brandon Wagner, the associate head coach for the Longhorns.
5 years for Bruce Burke, 2 chances to compete for national titles. He had to take over the job, obviously in unfortunate circumstances during that 2019 season. But what do? They go on to capture the national title that year. He brings them back to compete for another national championship here this week at the indoors. Things are humming right now in Austin. Coach Burke, Coach Wagner, a massive reason for that fact.
And I know I missed some of the pre-match right before it got started there, Alex, but obviously the health has been such a concern for Texas over the last 15 months or so, and good to see them finally healthy, at least for a bit of time. Hopefully they can stay healthy today. And I know the physio, the training staff for Texas, very busy last night getting them recovered as quickly as possible for today's noon start.
Not just last night, all week long. They were the late session.
They are the real MVP.
Yeah, exactly. They played the 6:30 p.m. nights 1, 2, 3:30 p.m. yesterday for their semifinal. It's the earliest start, and you wonder from an energy perspective, how does that impact? I know we're only 2 games in. It's pretty quiet here at the XS Tennis Village. Maybe it's because we're used to having 2 matches going on simultaneously, but it does feel stable early.
Well, on top of it, realistically, I mean, it's harder for, it's Ohio State and Michigan, for example. It's an easier travel for those fans to being a little bit closer to home, but yeah, it's hard for the Texas fans to come to Chicago. That's why it moves around from year to year, a little bit more regional, so you have some different options. But it's going to be a fun one here today. Glad you're with us on the broadcast. Singles, as Alex mentioned, going to be coming up immediately following this doubles point as well.
Holds everywhere so far on 1, 2, and 3. We'll keep you on 1. I haven't seen a single break point chance yet either. Now, again, it's 2 games.
It's early. But yeah, we said in our pregame show, Alex, that this doubles point was going to be a little bit bigger for Texas necessarily today because of, again, the exhaustion factor, the fact that it has been much more difficult and physical road to get here today.
I also think the big thing to watch will be the performance of Pedro Vives. Will he get the call up to the number 6 singles spot today? Jirasek was excellent yesterday, and I think he's earned the right to play that position, but I don't know if Grosvenor Vives rip off a 6-love or 6-1 set at 3. Who knows?
The 2023 Division I National Men's Team Indoor Championship is sponsored in part by the USTA. There's more tennis to play, skills to hone, and fun to be had. Go to USTA.com to become a USTA member, as well as Tennis Point. When we mentioned those ITA rankings, Tennis Point is the title sponsor of the ITA Tennis Point Collegiate Tennis Rankings, the ITA Tennis Point Summer Circuit, and the official retail partner of the ITA. Big spot here early. Couple of 30-all moments, in fact.
And there's a Cleve Harper roar. Now you know the day is going. And I do think this number 1 double spot in particular, if they can get off to that strong start, this is where they set the energy. It is Cleve Harper who will raise the decibel levels here in the building. Nice swinging backhand volley, the first roar of the day.
Well handled. Yeah, that's a big spot there for Elliot Spazieri. And yeah, I think the nerves, obviously, anytime you're competing for a national title, you see that within the first couple of minutes.
Deuce point, second serve coming up here for Seymour Waldeb on court number 2. Sails long, so Waldeb does escape with the hold. Let's put court number 3 on the big box now. Again, changeovers on 1 and 2 will move them to the side. Yeah, I think this reminds me, and this is, by the way, for this TCU team, in case you have not watched them this weekend, they are not one of the more animated teams. You've talked about it all week long.
Yeah, neither is Texas, right?
Yeah,
I mean, these are both teams that believe in that idea of professional atmosphere, professional approach to what is happening out on court.
I might push back on that Texas notion just because if you have Cleve Harper on your roster, I mean,
get it.
That's a guy who can.
There are always exceptions to that rule, right?
Yeah,
it's
very
just
fair.
That's the general MO is just much more of let's take care of business on the court and let the on-court stuff take care of everything else, speak for itself, right?
It's more like when Cleve Harper is bumping his chest and everyone sees it on screen, we're prepared for it.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Splits that middle very well, does Vives.
This team is so good. I know, again, hyperbole is my friend, my dear friend, but I have sincerely, it's how well-rounded. I haven't seen Vives miss more than one return in a row throughout the course of the weekend. Gorsny moves so well at the net.
Yeah, it makes a really good complementary pair. It's not one of those teams that I, you know, if we're talking about big picture, would get to the highest levels necessarily, because the fact that it's a little
the weapons.
The weapons are not necessarily there, but especially at the 3 line, it's just going to be such a dominant team, and there's some indecision for Texas, and it costs them here. Break chances, 4 looks right now for TCU.
People talk about hands. They think of craft volleys. They think of drop shots. That bump lob return is the epitome of soft hands.
That's Brandon Wagner talking with the Longhorns here, Braswell and Huang. Didi there for TCU. Gorsny's going to have a look at a second here from Chi-Chi Wong. Look how tight Vives is getting there. We'll be heading to court 2 next. First blood goes to the Horned Frogs. The break of Chi-Chi Wong, and TCU takes a 3-1 lead as we move over to court number 2. It's on the serve of Pennington Jones. Think.
Yes. The hat.
It's the red hat. That's what I was.
Exactly. Sanders on an indoor hat guy.
Yeah. Pennington Jones here did get that point, so it is 40-30.
Wall deep returning on the ad here for the Longhorns.
That's really smart volley, not trying to do too much with it. So 2-all. We stay on serve here at this 1 and the 2 spot. As it is 2-all there at 1 as well. Pennington Jones, another interesting one. Obviously, you told the story a few days ago about how he was very late getting that eligibility notice this year.
He was on the couch sitting there. They played Baylor last week leading up to the National Indoors. He's sitting on his couch when he gets a call from head coach David Roditi saying, hey, we're setting a car for you. You're coming down to Waco. You're playing today. You're eligible. And you know, JPJ happened to make it to Waco just in time for singles. He had to hop on court with 20 minutes of warm-up.
Oh, my word. Did he make that?
No, I think there might have been an overrule.
Yeah, the lines person on that far sideline called it good. That's just over the head of Sander Jong. Sorry to interrupt your story. That might be your shot of the day right there.
Well, let's just say that's a story interrupter. That is that good of a shot. I appreciate you calling me off. But no, to your point again, JPJ's new. This was his first doubles action. It came this weekend. And, you know, Coach Roditi talked to each of us about the difficulties in making that decision because Maxted and Jung, Louis Maxted, the sophomore, Sander Jung's prior partner, they were a top 10 team in the country. And, you know, that's a really tough duo to break up. It speaks to Coach Roditi's fondness for JPJ that he made that switch.
And Jack Pennington Jones does have very solid singles wins already in a professional sense, with wins over Vasek Pospisil, Paul Jubb, Ernesto Escobedo, all top 200 guys at the very least. That's just, again, really strong hands. So here comes another push from TCU, this time at the 2 spot.
JPJ, the highest world tennis number in men's college tennis. That's something we'll talk about a little bit later. Contextualize it for everyone. But a love 30 spot here. Meanwhile, TCU did hold for 4-1, so they've consolidated that lead at 3, Mike. And, I mean, should they go on to the victory here, we can pencil that in all tournament team, right? TCU at 3 dubs?
Ooh, that's right into old deep. Yes. The answer is yes, but that is 4 break chances as well for TCU. Looking to go 3-1 on the weekend themselves. If Vives and Gorsny do pick up a win. In fact, Gorsny undefeated on the weekend.
Mop alert. Little mop alert. gorgeous first volley. I see from Liam Bigby in the chat, he wants to give a shout out to Jonathan Pham, Director of Player Ops for TCU. I think it was Jonathan Pham who drove the car from Fort Worth to Waco. Won't ask what speeds he hit, but shout out to Jonathan. Great forehand from PY. Split the middle there. That's the play. Keep it low, keep it centered. Don't open up any angles. Very well done from this Texas team. They fight off 2 break points. Well done. And these love 40 deficits. It felt like Texas was able to climb themselves out of so many against Michigan yesterday. They were down breaks early on all 6 first sets against the Wolverines. That energy, that fight. Talked about it yesterday. You'll hear throughout the course of the day, Texas fight. That's their chant. Epitomized in this effort. Can PY escape deuce point coming up on 2?
Going to be sprayed, and there's another break. So TCU breaks on 2 courts right now. Closing in on that doubles point here.
Let's go to 3 in the big box, please. Vivez Gorzny up that break, 40-30 here on the Micah Braswell service game, a double break. Again, you can probably kiss that number 3 double spot goodbye.
Braswell, one of many players with an arm sleeve here this weekend.
Fashion and function, right?
Not functional right there. That one gets away from that forehand. So this is a virtual match point for the Horned Frogs, no doubt.
3 all on 1, following the Luke Fumba hold.
Well, it's a must there for the Longhorns in desperate times. Call for that big serve of Micah Braswell, kicked out wide 4-2 as they keep it at least tight at the 3 line.
First point, Horns down a break on court number 2 now. Nice return from P.Y. Bailey, who has played such better tennis this week. Again, it's a silver lining for the Longhorns. Regardless of what happens today, it does feel like their sophomore has regained his footing.
It's interesting you say that because I fully agree with you, and yet the record doesn't necessarily reflect it. You know, he's got 2-1 on the doubles line, 1-1 in an unfinished match on the singles line. So it's always tough for players as that ball's going to be pulled wide. But you know, focus on process is one thing that I know a lot of coaches talk about, because results might not always be there, but the process is the more important thing, because you want to peak at certain points of the season.
The other valuable data point here this weekend, this is one of the rare times, only time probably in the college tennis schedule, where you play 4 days consecutively. Correct. It's the ultimate physical challenge for these 2 teams.
Yeah, I know we had a YouTube comment about it yesterday, I believe, from your friend John Parsons, about the wanting of space in between. But this is the one where we have 4 matches in 4 days. Obviously, in May it'll be 3 matches in 3 days. Outdoors are a little bit more difficult to recover from, because those matches can take a little bit longer.
Which is why they play the 4 days indoors, again, because you do have that quicker recovery. But you talked about the 2 aspects in our pregame show. Physical's one. Yeah. Mental's the big one.
Yeah, and it gets overlooked.
Yeah, exactly. It's putting yourself, okay, we have to wake up 4 days consecutively. 6 a.m.'s breakfast, 7 a.m. gym, 8 o'clock we're on the courts. You learn that routine, which you can't fake otherwise.
Eric Budarak popping in the chat to say TCU coming out strong in dubs, can see the Roditi Bowen influence making a lot of returns, especially on the big deuce points. And Eric Budarak, doubles legend himself, certainly knows about the crucial nature of those returns, and especially in the biggest moments.
It's an interesting spot here. Chi Huang, 15-30 in the Vives serve. Vives, he's not going to run up the 120-mile-per-hour bombs. Chi will have a look here no matter what.
That's so reliable, though, from Vives, as he's making that move out to that right. That forehand has to be in play. So it is 3 chances here for Braswell Huang to get the break back.
I also love that he took that return early. If someone's in the I formation, you want to beat them to the spot, right? They got to make a move one way or the other. Chi beats Sebastian Gorsny to the spot. Well played.
Oh, he cheated, pinching that middle, did Gorsny, and he gets burned. So the break back for the Longhorns. A little bit of momentum there for Texas. Let's see if they can build on it. Let's go over to court number 2. This one's still in favor of TCU with the break lead at 4-2.
Big Cleve Harper overhead keeps us on serve. 4-3 Texas at 1. This is what they do. They just stick around, this Texas team. They never let you put them away. 4-3 over Ohio State in the quarters. 4-3 over Michigan in the semis. They're calloused. They're battle-tested.
Bailey a little bit late and hesitant moving over to pinch that middle. That's the only spot that Pennington Jones was going to be able to go with that forehand, as he had to get out of the way. And a little hesitant to get there. He doesn't feel like a natural doubles player to me.
No, I that's why I was surprised to see him shifted in here this weekend. I would have felt very comfortable with Jong and Maxted, but again, big picture. Beautiful dipper there from Sander Jong, but the best version of TCU probably has to have Jack Pennington Jones in doubles. This seemed to be the only spot.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Bailey.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Bailey doesn't feel like a natural doubles player.
Very much agree with that, and you will continue to see that fight in singles. He has opportunities to move forward, just doesn't love to do it.
Mm-hmm. Comfortable hold there. Love gets us to 4-3 as we move over to court number 1. Haven't spent a lot of time here, but now with at least one of those other matches getting back on serve, this does come back into play as being a pretty important one. Fernley Fomba for TCU, Harper and Spazziri for the Longhorns.
Quick tech note, super producer Daniel Westhoff, please change that scoreboard on 3. I think we've got the 2 doubles scoreboard at the number 3 line right now. That's top left. Thank you. 4-3s everywhere. The only break right now at that number 2 double spot. See the scoreboard switch 4-3 for Pennington Jones and Jong. I think if you're Texas, you're happy. First 23 minutes, energy's been good. TCU is a team you feel like can blow a team out. If you're not ready, they have been ready.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say happy.
Yeah,
I'd say
fine.
content.
Yes,
yeah,
perfect.
Content.
That's exactly the right word.
Yeah, you haven't gotten blown off the court with a flat performance at the start. And I think that's, absolutely a positive that you can take out of it. Now let's see if you can kind of, now that you're in it, your blood is flowing, all the muscles are going.
Well, this is the one. I think this is the one. If Spazziri and Harper can just inch out a break, as you see the 30-all spot now, you'll get a big Texas roar, and momentum is the name of the game in college tennis. Two perspectives. Glass half full, Elliot Spazziri's hitting backhands again. Glass half empty, he didn't make that one. Came over the top. They love the intent. Serve too good from Jake Fernley. 2 game points for the Horned Frogs at 1. Meanwhile, Vives Gorsny, you see top left of your screen. We'll go to 3 next. 30-all spot there. That's a TCU hold on 1. So 4-all, let's do a little flip-flop. 1 and 3 again. On serve at these 2 positions. Texas now 40-30 at this number 3 doubles line. Looks to be Chi Huang. I know it's his final year of eligibility. If it's year 5, 6, unclear to me, but this is the last one. Second serve coming now. And now it's a deuce point. Throw that graphic on the screen. Deciding point on 3. They're going to go to Vives. I like that choice. Big serve from Chi Huang. It's exactly what we saw from this number 3 doubles duo for the Longhorns yesterday. Again, Huang Braswell earning the 7-6 clinch to earn the doubles point over the Michigan Wolverines. So 4-all now at number 3, 4-all now at number 1. JPJ Sandra Jong for TCU still in that 5-3 break lead position for TCU at 2. No way. Oh, what wheels. We see the effort, Micah Braswell. We salute it. Oh, Vives with the hands. Quick reaction. We love for Gorsny here on 3. Westhoff, get ready to take us to 1 on the big screen. 5-4, Spaziri Harper hold, still on script there. 5-3, 15-all at that number 2 spot for TCU. Well done, Micah Braswell. Did just nick the line. Great hands. Game points now for TCU at this number 3 doubles position. And it's Sebastian Gorsny, the freshman, serving on the near side.
The one, Alex, that I'm a little bit surprised at that Braswell Huang getting that break back.
Yes.
It remains a little bit of a surprise. I did anticipate the one line. You and I both thought that was going to be the 50-50 toss-up. This was the one both of us, I think,
for sure
had TCU penciled in with a W. They will have the opportunity. Going to be out in front here, 5-4. Where do you want to go? Let's go into number 1 if we can. Refomba Spaziri Harper. 4-5 late in this set.
And there are times in the booth I feel bad we're not showing X match, Y match. I know you guys want to see everything. That's what we try to provide here at Cracked Racquets. The reason we haven't shown this match at 1, to your point, Mike, it's gone to script.
It has.
Not one.
Not one break point, yeah.
It's just darn good tennis. Texas is going to ask the question at 2 still. Sandra Jong, Jack Pennington Jones will serve for the set. That's good position for TCU to be in. Meanwhile, Fomba, Fernley, they keep rolling. 5-all at 1.
I want to see that return in play, however.
Yeah.
You know, Eric Budarak, again, doubles legend, joined us on the stream just for a little bit, but that's the name of the game, right? And I know you talked about it earlier in the weekend, that idea that about 70-ish% of points are determined at the college level in doubles within the first 2 contacts, the serve, the return. So it needs to be a little bit better. Obviously, 40-11 moments, sometimes hard to have that same intent and energy.
And I don't mean to be rude. Let's put 2 on the big board. Let's see if TCU can close it out. They're going to come out of the changeover here momentarily. You see them out of the chair. And let's see. Again, hat is JPJ. No hat is Sander Jong. Who's serving here for TCU?
Try to.
You like the science we use to differentiate?
It's Jong out there.
Okay, good. I like that. Sander Jong serving now. Senior.
That's impressive. That overhead is a very, very difficult one to find the spot.
So that's why he's in the line.
Yeah.
That's such a tough overhead. They're losing that sports interior lighting.
Keeping an eye on that one spot, aren't we? 15-30 moment for TCU. Put back, yeah.
Yeah, also a 30-all spot at 3. Yves and Gorsny.
Yeah, with that said, first of the match points here. And we will get through this doubles point. Goes to TCU here at the 2 line. First slow clap of the day as well. That's good to hear.
Just
yeah.
missed it.
All right, there's a break chance there up for TCU. That is a match point at the 3 spot too. So TCU match points on 2 different courts.
And it's a Braswell bomb. Ace wide. Deuce point, match point number 2. And it's 30-40 at 1 as well. Yeah, points for TCU there.
All right, there's your first blood. TCU grabs it at the 2 spot, 6-4. Match point here for the Horned Frogs. Put away comfortably. So Texas survives the moment to 5-all. Let's go now to court number 1. Did we miss it?
We missed it. TCU did get the break. Fernley, Fomba will serve for the doubles point. This is the TCU doubles epitomized. As we go to the split screen now, we'll try to show you both here down the home stretch, but this is exactly what we talked about in the pregame show, Mike. It's the multiple pathways to points for TCU. It doesn't have to be 2 and 3 doubles. It doesn't have to be 2, 3, and 6 singles. They can win anywhere on any given day.
It's going to be on the serve of Jake Fernley. Yes, it is. It will be on the serve of Fernley at the 1 spot.
10,000-foot view, really quickly. This Braswell Huang team have something. There's a little something there.
Yeah, and they'd come in, Braswell had only played 1 doubles match so far coming into the weekend. So looks like if this does happen to finish first on 1, he will come out unfinished, win, unfinished. Yeah. That's not bad.
You found a team.
Yep. Should point out yesterday, Spaziri's returning down the stretch in a 3rd set against Andrew Fenty was phenomenal.
Oh, he just missed it.
Yep.
So if you missed those semifinals, by the way, head on over to our Cracked Racquets website. Find a recap of them all on the Great Shot podcast feed. It's an old school episode, Mike. It was a good one.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
what does old school mean?
A lot of cursing. That's what it means. It means shout out to super producer Danny Westhoff, who had to put a lot of quack sound effects in that bad boy.
Okay.
We got animated in honor of the day.
See, that's what I mean. Elliot Spazzeri comes up with the goods. It's another return winner. He had one game in particular yesterday to get a second break against Andrew Fenty, where he had 5 straight return, either winners or forcing an issue. Fenty was able to come up with the goods on one of them with a remarkable shot. But yeah, he has that capability of heating up.
And let's go full on one. Full on one here for the ending.
Potential ending, because it is break chances here. And for the Texas Longhorns, they're going to have 3 looks to get us into a tiebreak.
And there it is. Now the Texas Roars begin.
Spazzeri will want that back. That did get into a very good contact point. Couldn't quite pull the angle. It's such a hard ball past Fomba as well, with those incredibly long arms. They called that wide. Obviously disagreeing strongly, but there will be a second serve on this break point for the Longhorns. That was a very good return. That second volley from Harper, I know he'll want that one back. So they've had 2 opportunities here over the last couple of points. That second serve return for Spazzeri, second volley from Harper, that both go awry. So it arrives at a match point here for TCU.
And they go to the deuce right back to Spazzeri. You said 100%. It already. He's returned so well of late.
It's not even a question. The doubles point goes to the TCU Horned Frogs. They take it at the 1 and the 2 line.
It was good. I don't know if good's going to be good enough today, though, for this Texas team. They fought well everywhere, but this epitomizes the talent, the depth, the intensity of this TCU men's tennis team. Again, at that number 1 spot, Fomba Fernley delivering the clinch 7-5. But let's not forget, boy, were Jong and Pennington Jones efficient on the day. 5 service games for TCU at the number 2 spot, 5 holds, 6 service games for TCU at the number 1 spot, 6 holds consecutively. And then they were up a break for the majority of that number 3 doubles flight as well. That is 2 script for the TCU Horned Frogs. Exactly what they would have expected given what they've accomplished already this weekend. And for TCU now, a 1-love lead heading into our 6 singles matches. Of course, we'll have coverage of all of those singles matches coming up here momentarily. Mike's going to go run back to his PA role. I'm going to take this moment, do some jumping jacks, get stretched. But folks, make sure you stick with us as we have plenty of more action to come. It's Championship Monday here at the 2023 ITA Division I Men's National Team Indoor Championships.
Tennis is superb.
Tennis is fire.
Tennis is sick.
Let's go. Tennis can change the world. Come on.
This is tennis too. Good morning.
It's my first time.
Not mine.
It's about time you play tennis like the pros, and now you can. Swing Vision is an app nearer the gods. It uses AI to track your shot speed and placement using just your phone. Opponent giving you dodgy line calls? Out. Challenge it instantly right from your wrist. Download Swing Vision for free and bring the Grand Slam experience home.
Adidas Tennis is bringing the fun and flair to the courts in 2023, and you can find the latest Melbourne collection available now at tennis-point.com, your online tennis retailer. Tennis Point. Advantage you.
Introducing A-Peak Tennis and A-Peak Coach. Everything tennis players need to become mentally tough, both on and off the court. And everything coaches need to help players reach their full potential. Because we are extremely confident that A-Peak does work, we are offering free 1-month split testing to validate A-Peak's effectiveness when implemented correctly. With split testing, we'll have half your players use A-Peak, while the other half does not. Then, we'll conduct pre- and post-testing to demonstrate A-Peak's value. To take advantage of this offer, email us at apeak@apeak.com.
Welcome back in, everyone, to our Cracked Racquets coverage of today's ITA Men's National Indoor Championship. Alex Gruskin here, Mike Cation, running up from his PA role. He's got double duty. That's why he's the GOAT, folks. But for now, I think I can handle the ship for 2 to 3 minutes. Han Solo, of course, you see on your screen the #1 singles position. We'll show you all 6 of our matches, introduce you to all of the characters that will make up today's national championship match. Of course, as you see, it's a 1-0 lead for TCU. Horned Frogs getting doubles decisions at the #1 and 2 spots. Jong and Pennington Jones, that 6-4 win at 2. Fernley Fomba, the 7-5 victory at the #1 spot. So TCU needs to take 3 singles victories. For these Texas Longhorns, they're going to need 4. Mike, let's run us through who we've got competing out on court today.
All right, let's start at the 1 spot. There are not too many changes. There's actually only 1 change in the lineup, and that coming at the 6th spot, and it's actually for Texas. We'll get to that in just a moment, but TCU going to be led, as always, by Jake Fernley, the junior from Edinburgh, Scotland. I shouldn't say as always. They do have flexibility. Of course, Luke Fomba has been playing so incredibly well as well, but Fernley coming in, the junior out of Edinburgh, Scotland, as he takes on Elliot Spizzirri, the heart and soul of the Texas Longhorns, the junior out of Greenwich, Connecticut, who does come in 2-0 on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's strength for strength. Now, for Texas, you feel like any pathway to 4 singles victories today, it has to start at this #1 spot. And Elliot Spizzirri's delivered so much success to this team, not only over the course of his career, but even specifically over the course of this weekend. Spizzirri, the 3-set win over Justin Boulay in the NCAA quarterfinal yesterday, the clinching 3-set win over Andrew Fenty of Michigan. Here's the question. How much gas does he have left in the tank? If you have watched Elliot Spizzirri, you know he's always got 1 more in him.
Yeah, there's always going to be the grittiness that is necessary for a player of his sort. You know, he's got incredible talent, but yeah, he's going to give 100% all the time, and that will be a fun matchup here between these two on the day as we move to the 2 line. The aforementioned Luc Fomba, the senior out of Paris, France, 2-0 so far on the weekend, a perfect 9-0 so far on the season for the Horned Frogs. Pia Isbeli the hero from 2 nights ago for the Longhorns, sophomore out of Bielsen, Belgium. 1-1 so far on the record this weekend. But as you and I mentioned during the doubles, he has played very, very well so far.
I'm going to put myself out on a limb already. Sometimes my hot takes aren't that hot. I don't think this is a particularly hot take, but I think this is the match for Texas. I think this is the swing one. When PY plays his best tennis, he is as good as any player in the country. Now, on a fast indoor hard court, you know what's miserable to face? A 6'6" serving Luke Fomba, who's just going to fire bomb after bomb at you throughout the course of the match, not give you any rhythm. That said, PY is the sort of athlete, the sort of player that can take those shots away from Fomba. Again, I just don't know how Texas is going to get to 4 singles victories today if it's not a vintage PY performance. Fomba's been excellent. PY's been great too. This is a battle at 2.
I can tell you're young by the fact that you say a vintage performance for somebody who is just a sophomore. That'll change for you as you get older, young man, no doubt about it. As we move down to the 3 line, Micah Braswell for the Texas Longhorns, 2-1 on the season. Maybe hasn't fully peaked yet so far this season, Alex, but he takes on Jack Pennington Jones, the freshman out of Ashted, England, for the Horned Frogs. 1-1 so far, not only just on the weekend, but also 1-2 now on the season, still early.
You can call me foolish again. This might be youthful naivete. I actually think Braswell is the best rested player in this Texas lineup. And the reason I say that, he got his clock cleaned yesterday by Andre Styler. Now, that's not meant to be disrespectful to Braswell. That had everything to do with Andre Styler, who at times looked like the best player in college tennis this weekend. But you wonder for Braswell taking on a Pennington Jones who's been pushed, right? Multiple 3-set matches for the TCU freshman. If an upset's going to come, this could be the upset where Braswell upsets JPJ. That said, JPJ is always in for the fight.
Sander Jong is at the 4 spot for TCU. I know somebody in the YouTube chat yesterday asked if Sander Jong had ever lost at national indoors, and I'd have to go back. I'm guessing he's lost at least once as a senior.
No, because he went undefeated in 2020 in Wisconsin, was just on this ridiculous run. 2021, he was like the only healthy TCU Horned Frog, and again, went on a ridiculous run in what was an awful weekend for the Horned Frogs. Last year, I think he won the mop. I don't think he lost a match at the national indoors. And so, again, I may be 1 match off, but I don't think I am, Mike.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and say he's lost 3.
Yeah.
Maybe one that we don't remember. I think that's entirely within the realm of possibility. But Sander Jong, he's been very good. He does have a loss in doubles this weekend. That was yesterday. But other than that, he is now 5-1 on the weekend. The senior from the Netherlands taking on Siem Woldeeb, who is certainly improving quite a bit has been a real strong force here for the Texas Longhorns.
Indoors, hard courts, fast courts, he just has weapons that hits through them, and he can disrupt your rhythm. Again, the big thing, 5-2 down yesterday against Gavin Young. He wins that match 7-5, 6-4. Gavin Young was undefeated for Michigan coming into that match. Woldeeb hands him his first loss. Again, you're never 100,000% sure which Siem Woldeeb's going to show up, but this season we have been sure. It's been the best version. This is a battle. You're on 4.
Down at the 5 line, there were some questions for Texas about Cleve Harper and his health. He is dealing with a bit of an elbow. You will see a sleeve on that right elbow for the junior from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. But he is giving it a go here today, taking on a very good young talent from Austin, Texas for TCU, the freshman Sebastian Gorsny.
I mean, Cleve Harper is the Energizer Bunny. You're going to hear him more than anyone else on your screen throughout the course of today. Yesterday, just used his forehand to perfection, spreading the court exceptionally against Jacob Bickerstaff. He knocks out Bickerstaff for Michigan in straight sets. A quick win for this Texas Longhorn team. But again, on the other side of the net is your -- newcomer, according to the Tennis Point rankings. And Sebastian Gorsny's the real deal, folks. This is, again, inexperience versus experience, but strength versus strength.
Sebastian Gorsny yet to lose singles in a dual match for the TCU Horned Frogs. A perfect 7-0 so far on the season. Down at the 6th spot, we did mention this is where there was going to be just a little bit of movement and a bit of a surprise to see Evan McDonald in the lineup for Texas here today. He was actually at the 8 singles lineup, 8 in the singles lineup, I should say, in the submitted lineups earlier this week. But Evan McDonald, the junior from Bethesda, Maryland, gets the call up today, taking on Tomas Jirasek, who did get a win yesterday.
Yeah, Jirasek has earned the right to be back in that singles lineup, right? He earns the 3-set victory yesterday. Probably should have been a straight set win. He was up a set and a break at times in that match against Kentucky. But look, I mean, again, Jirasek is one of the guys that has the option. Vives, Maxted, if you're Coach Roditi, you have 3 options. You go with a hot hand, and certainly Jirasek looked the part yesterday. McDonald's the fascinating choice for this Texas team because we haven't seen him this weekend. Yes, Aramili lost yesterday, but he's 2-1 overall on the weekend. Now, I know for Evan McDonald, big serve, big forehand. Maybe there's something in the matchup specifically that Coach Burke, Coach Wagner like, but I am a little bit surprised by this decision.
I think that's exactly right. You know, when we were talking at the outset just about depth, so important at college tennis, right? Because you can kind of flip things around down at the bottom to see, you know, which one is going to be the matchup that you want to get into. And clearly they do believe that McDonald, because you could put Chi-Chi Wong in there. You definitely could. You could put Aramili. But McDonald is going to be the guy here today against Jirasek. Fans, don't forget the ITF World Tennis number is the exclusive official rating of the ITA and college tennis. The ITF World Tennis number provides a global rating standard for tennis players using a 40-to-1 scale, with 40 being a beginner and 1 being an elite professional. The scale is for all players, regardless of age, gender, or ability. Players will have separate ITF World Tennis numbers for singles and doubles. 152 countries have agreed to become part of the WTN rating system, which now has 1.4 million player profiles on worldtennisnumber.com. All college tennis players are assigned a WTN as the ITA shares college match results with the ITF. You can find WTNs for college players on the ITA's wearecollegetennis.com website. And the top player in all of college tennis, at least here this weekend, Jack Pennington Jones for TCU with the 3.05. Elliot Spizzirri tops for the Longhorns at 3.3.
Makes sense. I mean, again, it's still early in the season, too. As more data is compiled, things will become even more reflective of the level we see with our eyes. This is where I would remind everyone, and I mentioned this in the pregame show we did, this Texas core, they've never beaten TCU. Texas group of Spizzirri, Waldeep, Harper. Since the start of the 2020 season, they've played TCU 3 times, TCU 3-0. TCU beat Texas at the National Indoors last year in the quarterfinals. They beat them in the regular season Big 12 play as well. And I looked through those matches, only 1 singles rematch on the board. It's at the number 2 spot, Fomba versus P.Y. Bailey. In that instance, P.Y. was up 6-4, 6-5, didn't finish the match. That's the only rematch of all of these matchups we see here today in singles.
Part of that for the fact that Jake Fernley has obviously
elevated
in the fall. He's taken a big jump. He was at the 4 spot for TCU that year. Also, Elliot Spizzirri was at the 2 line. We also have to note, I mean, last year, everything was a slice off of that side.
Even better when they played at the National Indoors last year, Elliot Spizzirri played 4. It was Spizzirri at 4. Guess this, who he played. Pedro Vives, who clinched the National Indoors for TCU at that number 4 spot last year. What a difference a year makes, obviously, and both of these teams have progressed in different directions. Now, it's interesting because it's the same nuclei. That's the plural, right? Nucleus for each group.
Yep.
Not the plural. Well, you know what? We're not going to do that now. But different positions, different matchups, and I kind of like the matchups a little better for Texas, I think, this year.
Why?
It's just that Spizzirri is at his best because he's at the number 1 singles spot. And I think that is indicative of Texas being closer to their best. I think the fact that CM Waldeep last year was struggling so mightily at the 4 and 5 spot, you feel so much more confident about him at that number 4 spot here today. And then, look, I actually think the one you're most concerned about is 6. 6 is where TCU has gotten even stronger. Last year, Cleve Harper was actually up 7-6, 4-1 on Tomas Jirasek at that number 6 spot when they played at the National Indoors. And then, you know, Chi-Chi Huang was 7-6, 3-2 with Tim Rule at that 6 spot as well. I think the gap maybe has greatened for TCU there. But other than that, with the playing positions for this Texas team, it's just indicative they're healthy.
All right, so breaks early. Let's see, for Fernley at 1, as you see here on your screen. Bailey to love for Texas in the 2 spot. A break at 3 as well for Pennington Jones. 4, 5, and 6. Oh, there's a break for TCU at 4. Sandra Jong. And not surprising.
You discussed this yesterday.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind elaborating on it, Do you think it's the same deal where those first sets, end of the first sets, first 60 minutes are crucial, and if so, why?
Yeah, I think it's a big ask again. So 2 nights ago, TCU finishing 10:45.
Texas.
Excuse me. Thank you. Texas finishing at 10:45, then coming back and playing at the 3:30 spot. It is a late, not as late of a finish yesterday, but still a little bit later, closer to that 7 o'clock range, and then having to come back, warm up at about 11:15 today. You have 2 real bursts of energy where you can come out a little bit flat. One is at the beginning of doubles, and then it's really that first set. And for me, much more so right at the end of first sets, more than anything else. That end of first, beginning of second. The big difference right now is the fact that Texas lost to the doubles point. Yesterday, they were able to answer that question early, grab the doubles point. You have a little bit of a cushion. You have no cushion now if you're the Texas Longhorns.
And one last dichotomy as we obviously lock in on the matchup here. Last night at the hotel, we happen to be staying at the same hotel as this Texas team, as this TCU team. It was about 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. I went down to the lobby to grab some food for myself, and I looked around and I saw just the differences between the two teams. Texas, they had just showered. They were just getting down to the lobby to enjoy some dinner, and they were all congregating. What was TCU doing? They were sitting in the corner. It was poker night number 3. They were relaxed. They were enjoying themselves, dare I say. You could tell, some laptops were out, some schoolwork was getting done. They were just in a more relaxed mindset that late into the night. And you're absolutely right. It's the little details that matter when things are so level.
Yeah, so as a result, again, big picture right now, 3 break leads for TCU at the 1, 3, and 4 spot. 1 break lead for Texas, that coming at the 2 spot, and then even at 5 and 6. And again, you can always throw your comments our way on the YouTube chat. We will try to get to as many of them as we can, as long as they're at least pleasant.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, YouTube comments can be
I was going to say, if you got
place.
mean things to say, just DM us directly. Yeah, keep it out of the YouTube chat, because Westhoff sees the YouTube chat, and he'll take it personally.
All right, so thank you guys for joining us here. It's been a fun weekend in Chicago on the South Side, and our thanks to Kamal Murray and his staff at the XS Tennis Village as well for making us feel very comfortable, and more importantly as well, the Illinois staff that made the drive up from Champaign-Urbana to make sure things were that normal standard that you expect from the University of Illinois.
You see here early at that number 2 spot, P.Y. Bailey game point chances to take a 3-love lead. He manages to do so on Luke Fomba, but I want to go to the TCU 3 box, we'll call it. Keep 1 on the big screen. Actually, keep 3 there as well. Throw number 4 up for us as well. 4 in the 2 spot, please, super producer Daniel Westhoff, because, and it's very early. Let's not get ridiculous and say this is the pathway to victory. 3 breaks early, though, for TCU. You see Fernley here at the number 1 spot. You see Pennington Jones at 3. Sandra Jong, who, in case you didn't know, teammates refer to as the landlord. When you come to his court, you got to pay rent. You know he's going to beat you.
John Parsons answering our question. He's able to sit and do some of the work for us. But Sandra Jong did lose last year to Virginia in straights.
That's true. Good call by you, Jay. Thank you for doing the research. But 1 loss. 1 loss in 5 years is ridiculous. I remember the Wisconsin indoors particularly because Sandra was very, very bad heading into that event and then rips off an undefeated run. And Coach Rodriguez like, yep, we got it now. Or where we need to be. I know that camera's a little finicky on 4. Apologies for that if you want to switch away from it in the meantime, Westhoff. Let's go to 6 because guess what? Evan McDonald, he's up a break 3-1 early, Mike, and that's just Bruce Burke doing his homework, it feels like.
Well, it's, there are no secrets.
Yeah, yeah, well said.
Obviously, they know each other incredibly well, so he was comfortable as long as it was going to be Jirasek. That's the matchup that he was going to want there in that particular spot.
Any inclination? For me, the reasoning I heard was about the forehand, or not forward, but my inclination, I should say. I didn't hear, but my inclination would be the weapon. Do you see something similar?
You know what? I haven't seen Evan McDonald play, obviously, here this weekend.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I don't know that I can answer that question, but I think we'll see it pretty quickly here. And yeah, really good opportunity for Texas to grab a couple breaks. In fact, Cleve Harper break chances right now with the 5 spot. As you see, you do have Fernley here, break chance to make it a 2-break lead at 1.
That would be the fitting ending, a 4-3 match where everything's straight sets. That's the one scenario we haven't seen this weekend.
So his double break now. Fernley firmly in control. If we can grab 5.
See, by the way, game points for McDonald as well to consolidate.
Yeah, it does look like Cleve Harper as we pop back in. Did grab the break against Sebastian Gorsny. And listen, sometimes you do kind of have that, you rely a little bit on experience. This is the one where there is a distinct experience difference for the Texas Longhorns being at this 5 spot. Collegiately,
well said. And you see the serve and volley there from Cleve Harper. I think his game's so well suited to these indoor conditions. He wants to hit the ball big, wants to be moving forward. It's a loopier forehand than perhaps you're anticipating seeing. Again, the backswing. Very pronounced is the word that comes to mind. Another excellent serve and volley. Chopped off well from Cleve Harper. Let's replace court number 6 with court number 2, please. P.Y. Bailey has some separation.
It does. And you and I have both talked about the fact that Fombo, with that big serve, can control and dictate very quickly within matches. Not able to do so far, yet to get a hold. Struggling to get any points at all. It is love 3 and 15-40. His serve.
See head coach David Roditi. Look at that stride across that number 5 singles court. It's been that way all weekend long. Roditi's been on courts 4, 5, 6. Evan Bowen, the associate head coach, courts 1, 2, 3. Deuce point coming up on 3.
Breaks on all 6 courts right now.
Yeah,
it's on all 6 courts, but 3-3.
I'm uncomfortable. It's very quick. Everything's so fast right now.
Massive from Fombo. Goodness. He does have some heat. I mean,
Braswell gets the break back for 3 all on 3, so we can make that court number 4, please. Haven't spent a lot of time there. Court 3 becomes 4, where Waldeep's got the 4-1 lead. But yeah, separation everywhere, Mike.
With the exception now of 3.
Yeah,
that's the one that doesn't have a break lead. So,
and it's not just breaks. It's double. It's 4-1s. It's 5-1s. Double breaks here and there as well.
Well, listen, I have in particular mentioned quite a bit here today this idea of fatigue for Texas. Even though TCU's path has been easier, it still remains a difficult task to do it 4 days in a row, regardless of how easy it has been.
I also would say one of the most lopsided scores right now is 5-1 Fernley over Spazzeri. It was a long time ago, I know, but some may remember 21-6-1 over Elliot Spazzeri in the first set yesterday. And so we've been here before with Spiz. The old bait and switch. Cleve Harper extends that lead, 4-1 on court number 5. Let's go to court number 1, 5-1 Fernley. 15-30. He's 2 points away from the set, Mike.
Yeah, it's hard, listen, for us as commentators when we are bouncing around to really get a great feel for a match. So I'm interested to watch a little bit here. Yesterday, we could say a lot of it was Andrew Fenty. He was attacking. He was not giving Spazzeri any room to breathe. That was a very high level from Andrew Fenty early. I don't know what we're seeing quite yet, but Fernley has definitely been moving forward. And really, again, it's much like Fenty yesterday. First ball to the forehand to open up the backhand, look for the slice off of the backhand for Spazzeri. That is going to be until that wrist for him gets better, and 100%, that's going to be what he has to deal with.
And talking to Elliot throughout the course of the week, the biggest thing is the confidence. Elliot says, my wrist feels pretty good. It just, to quote him, he said, when I'm on the run, I got no problems. It's when I have time that I start to think. And he goes, Alex, I hit the back tarp out of the air. I haven't done that since I was 13. I hit a home run. You see set points on 1. That's a quick breadstick. Jake Fernley puts the first set on the board at the number 1 spot. Eerily similar feeling
Yeah, I got to be honest though, that felt even faster.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Fernley takes that first set. Spizzirri actually leaving the court. You see, he's just
head is down as well.
Bad juju.
Yeah, listen, this is a guy who is yesterday being the one who clinches. That is a tough ask. Think about also the day before.
3 sets.
It was Bailey. Well, I was going to say it was Bailey who clinched the night before all of that emotional roller coaster. He came out and lost the next day.
Very well said.
So let's see how Spizzirri responds into a second set. Where do you want to go on the big screen?
Let's put 4 on the big screen. 4-1, 30 all right now. Sander Jong pulling away from Seam Waldeep. You see it in the bottom left here. We won't miss a point for you. Oh, the let cord serve. You gotta love it. One of the luxuries we have here in college tennis. We play the lets. I'm for it everywhere. Maybe that's a discussion for a different time. But we'll replace court number 4 with 6. Can we make court number 4 court 6, super producer Daniel Westhoff? I'm fascinated by this Evan McDonald match. 4-2 lead for McDonald. 15-30 though now in his service game. Someone asked on the chat, has Elliot Spizzirri won a first set at all this week? He did win first sets against Wake, did the same thing against Boulay as well as the second set he dropped against Boulay. Meanwhile, apologies. I know this camera at 4 has been a little bit finicky. You see the set point coming up here. Set point, excuse me, game point.
Virtual.
That's the game point. Yes. So 5-1 lead now for Sander Jong after the big serve. Meanwhile, how about this for Fomba on 2? Breakpoint chances back. Just looking to level things a little bit here. Meanwhile, Jirsek does get that break back. So, okay. Maybe now we've woken up everywhere. We'll make court number 6, court number 3 as that match is now on serve. But this is starting to feel more... We're sinking our teeth into it, Mike.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be 2 sets very quickly for TCU at the 1 and the 4 spots. 2, 3, and 6 all on serve at this point. If Fomba gets that break, I should say. Gorsny actually has a chance to get a break back against Harper. Things flattening out just a little bit here with the exception of 1 and 4. Sander Jong, this is remarkable. So we have found, it's again thanks to John Parsons in the chat, 2 losses for Sander Jong over the last couple of years in indoors. Again, still a remarkable record.
Yeah, I'll take it. And by the way, the losses we learned to Stefan Dostanic, who's top 5 in the country, Jeffrey von der Schulenberg, who's top 30 in the country. I defend the sentiment of my point, if not the accuracy.
Fomba did get the break back, so again, it's tightening up there as well.
Can we throw 5 in that box where Cleve Harper 4-1 deuce point, a de facto set point there for Harper, break point on Gorsny. Pennington Jones, tough hold for 4-all. I'm fascinated by that match. That's a big picture, 10,000-foot view. Meanwhile, Sander Jong, I don't know how he's at 4. I won't understand it. We'll look back historically and think, huh?
That's a set point for Sander Jong now. Your triple threat. But it goes by the weight side. It did get into a nice little swing, though, for Jong. It's a rare miss for him on the day. So Wolde fights it off to 5-2. As we go down to 6, where Jirasek and McDonald. Jirasek has ridden the ship there. 3-4, 30-15 as we pop on into court number 8, which is the 6th single spot. Perfect forehand combination out of Evan McDonald. 2 big inside outers and pulls the trigger. Keep an eye there on Pennington Jones as well at the 3 line.
I still don't have a grip on what Pennington Jones does well. And to your point earlier, it's because we jump around a lot.
Yeah.
It's a stupid thing to say out loud, but I just view him as he's one shot better than you. It's just he can do a little bit of it all.
Missed it. Yeah, missed it. So Jirasek giving up a couple of break chances to Texas's Evan McDonald. Again, if you're just joining us, first time in the lineup this weekend for McDonald. Top 15 recruit out of Maryland a couple years ago. Has not had a ton of experience in the lineup yet for Texas, but in a big spot here with these 2 chances.
Knee break point chances at 5. Level things with Cleve Harper. Just missed it. But you see why right there McDonald was the pick. That forehand is explosive, and with all the moving parts to Jirasek, there are a few hitches in the giddy up, right? Say that respectfully, of course. Of course, I know they call Jirasek the Bulldog. Appreciate Bertus Kruger passing that tidbit along to us. But this is big. Deuce point chance here, deciding point for Tomas Jirasek. Goes long. That's a nice hold for Tomas Jirasek 4-all. Meanwhile, you see the break point chances now. Pennington Jones at 3. Worsney did get that break back at 5. Stuff. Can we put court 4 on the big screen? Court 4 on the big screen. Sander Jong's now serving for the set against Siem Wolde.
That's a break. It looks like that volley did indeed miss from Micah Braswell. So Pennington Jones does grab his break. He's going to serve for a set for TCU as well.
And we talked about the early separation. Things have now leveled. The problem is on the courts they've leveled. It's all TCU comebacks. They're the ones who've made a pushback with their backs pressed against the wall. And again, it's the totality of the weekend. It'll either add up in the next 20 minutes for Texas, or they're going to get they need an adrenaline shot. This is one of my stupid hypotheticals because you have a changeover, right? A changeover is a built-in timeout. This is where if you're Bruce Burke, you'd love to just say, hey, I'm calling my timeout.
Right.
I'm bringing the guys in.
They were, as you mentioned earlier, down breaks on all 6 first sets yesterday was Texas. It'll again take suffering superhuman to do it here today as well with the way things have been playing out. Awoldi can't come back from 2 breaks down today in his first set. Sander Jong grabs another first set for the Horned Frogs. 6-2 on the 4 line as we go quickly to the court at number 3, where Jack Pennington Jones from Ashstead, England, serving for the set against Micah Braswell, as the Horned Frogs look to grab another first set. British junior number 1, Pennington Jones, 3 ITF junior titles to his credit, as high as 489 in the ATP rankings as well. Serves here 5-4.
And let's put court number 2 in place of court 3 on our side there. Luke Fumba, 3-4 on serve right now with Pierre Bailey. So that's 2 first sets again. Courts 1, court 4. Rather lopsided as well for TCU, huh?
At this stage, yes.
Yes.
You are popping in. Maybe it's just on your lunch hour right now. Doubles points secured with wins at 1 and 2 for TCU.
By the way, we'd love to see where you're watching these matches. If you are sneak watching, if you're enjoying some luxury, tweet at us at Mike C Tennis, at AL Gruskin, at Cracked Racquets, at the ITA. How are you choosing to enjoy this national indoors? Love to see someone at a work desk, just like hidden phone on the side. Maybe don't tweet that out. We don't want to get you in trouble. But throw it in the DM.
Kyle says he's watching in Atlanta on his extra monitor. Not a bad idea. There's a couple of set points coming here for Jack Pennington Jones. Extra monitors are key.
Yes, we learned that this weekend, did we not?
So there's another first set for TCU. Jack Pennington Jones, the freshman, 6-4 over Micah Braswell. 3 first sets, TCU, as we go to 5, where things have turned pretty drastically. I believe it's 3 straight games on the trot right now for another one of the talented Horned Frog freshmen, Sebastian Gorsny from Austin. It's 4-all on the Harper serve, now love 15.
We'll throw 6 in place of 5 on the side. These are your 3 remaining first sets. Again, TCU takes the first 3 of the match here in singles. This is where we said the critical 20-minute stretch for Texas begins. Although then again, what this Texas team has gone through, dropped the doubles point, 4 singles wins against Ohio State. They do it against Michigan. That would be the storybook ending. Something crazy like that here today. Is it physically possible, though?
Must there for Harper, and he finds it. I'll say to you what I said in our pregame show as well, though. It doesn't matter. Texas, to me, comes out of this a huge winner from the weekend. And I think, you know, you can look at it as, yeah, sure, a disappointment that you didn't get a title coming out of it. But, yeah, you then start to build for May knowing that you have that capability.
Gorgeous dropper from Cleve Harper. That's what he has to be doing. Has to be pressuring Gorsny with movement forward.
A lot of times it's going to be a race here to the net between these two. Who's able to get there and dictate just a little bit more.
You see top left of your screen game point chances here for Jirasek. Looking to extend this at 2-5-all. Sander Jong already with break point chances early in the second set at 4.
That's a disappointing effort there from Grosvenor, isn't it? That backhand very low, and yeah, he'll want that back, a little bit more movement forward towards that baseline to dictate just a little bit better, especially with that ball rolling, as you said, from Harper. Want to step forward, dictate a little bit more on your own terms. Crucial, I think you would say, to get 2 of these 3 for Texas, bare minimum.
Absolutely. I might even argue they need all 3.
Push wide. So it's going to be a break chance here for Sebastian Grosvenor.
And you hear a huge roar on your screen. That's because Seam Waldeep held on a deuce point for 1 love. I think Texas feels it too.
Yeah, it's desperate.
It's got to be here. It's got to be 4. It's got to be Waldeep. It's got to be 5. It's got to be Cleve. These are the veterans.
Do you want to just list the whole lineup?
Yeah, no, it's
got to be.
These 2. These 2, though, with the experience, these 2 bring the energy that they bring when they're at their best.
Yeah, I would say it's got to be the entire team right now.
Yeah, sure.
So collectively, this is where it is, up and down the lineup. Even the 2 guys who are not playing, Chi Wong, Nevin, or Millie, can they get vocal?
Let the record show, I did say I'd already call my timeout. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Jirasek on 6 cannot break. That could be
a short day at the office for us.
Yes.
Going to be a let.
If you're trying to avoid the Cleve Harper forehand with your return, Mike, which side do you pick if you're Grosvenor? Because that's what you're trying to do, right? He likes to hit the kick wide on the ad as well.
Yeah, yes.
So I'd probably go deuce.
I think I would too.
Yeah. Okay.
That is also what he plays in doubles as well, correct?
And this is not good if you're a Texas fan. Fomba breaks for 5-4. Bailey was up 3-0 there.
Yep. That's not a great sight to see from Evan McDonald there. That means it's break chances here, or it's a missed serve. Okay, so second serve upcoming.
Spiz up a break at 1. There's 1 bright spot, but uh-oh. Now Grosvenor will serve for it. And the set for TCU, 5-4 lead now, Seb Grosvenor at 5.
Yeah, it is moving along pretty quickly right now for the TCU Horned Frogs. In fact, they just got a break on 3 as well. Yeah, Jack Pennington-Jones, 6-4, 1 love with a break.
So we put 2 in the big boxes. Luke Fomba is about to serve for the set. Everything moving TCU's direction. Sans that number 1 spot where, like I said, you knew Spazzeri was going to have some fight in him. He's taken a 3-2 break lead. That's the only bright spot right now for Texas. That's it. All right, what does P.Y. Bailey, the sophomore reigning Big Ten freshman of the year? You're reigning, right? Technically, I know he's a sophomore now, but he's still reigning.
That's an interesting question, Alex. I don't know if since you can't win it again.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's a reigning freshman.
That's a fair question.
First fair question of the weekend? Really?
It might be. A little over-aggressive out of phone, but in the opener here to 15.
And it's uh-oh alert. I don't know what other word to use. Jirasek has break points.
Well, let 2 forehands go away again. He's gotten 2 balls where he wants them, right? 1 on that initial point, raising forehand on the second point as well. Both of them, the kind of contact point that he wants, and both of them got away. So opening for Bailey as a result. McDonald, that is a gutsy hold to stay on serve.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet Lord, did they need it.
Now better that time, that second ball forehand, you see the target moved by about 3 feet.
And I'll watch 5 forces,
Yep.
Gorsney's closing in. Set point chances for the freshman. That's a nice turnaround. He finished the job there in set number 1.
The frame for Bailey, so he gives one shank right back.
Meanwhile, the first set point was fought off by Cleve Harper. Still 3 more to come. That land good? No. A little long? No, it landed good. The ace T for Gorsney. 6-4 first set. That's 4 for the Horned Frogs. Boy, oh boy, Mike. Don't bring out the bottles yet in Fort Worth, but get excited.
Well, the path just for Texas gets harder and harder and harder as we go along.
Pennington Jones 6-4, 2-love at 3. Yeah, now again, even Spizzirri at 1. I never count out Elliot Spizzirri, but now for TCU, 3-4-5. There's a runway.
Great chances for Pieris Bailey.
Jirusek serving, top left of your screen. 1 of 2 remaining first sets. Courts 2 and 6. Bomb. There it is.
Set point, foam up. Into this deuce side. Another first set goes the way of TCU, make it a perfect 5-for-5 so far. First sets 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the Horned Frogs.
Unbelievable. And it speaks to the depth, speaks to the talent everywhere. And again, Texas had breaks early. Now, it was very early, but still, TCU sunk their teeth into the first hour of singles. And now, again, they're not at the finish line, but they can see a pathway there.
Last hope in a first set goes to Evan McDonald for Texas, 15-30 at 5-6. Pennington Jones with a second break there. 2-3 love. Just a nice effort from McDonald deep to make Jirusek hit one more ball. So here we go. Set points for the Texas Longhorns. They're going to have 3 looks for Evan McDonald. Smart and controlled. McDonald cheating towards that backhand wing where it is clearly more of a weakness. Jirusek able to pick that apart. And again, if you're joining us late, McDonald getting his first action of the weekend here today. The junior from Bethesda, two-time academic all-conference, 3-5 last year in duels. Just 1-2 so far on the season. This is a matchup situation for Texas. Sneaky little flick, mixes just a bit long, so a game point here and a break point. Donald will take this on the outside. It's quite a deliberate service motion, isn't it? It is just long, confirmed indeed by the chair umpire. So it will be a tie break to decide this final first set of our singles action here at the 6 line, recapping kind of where we're at. Otherwise, we do see Spazzeri remains up a break in the second against Jake Fernley. Fomba Bailey just starting their second on serve. Pennington Jones with a 2-break lead. Vander Jong on serve with CM Wooldeep 2-all in their second set. Worsney and Harper just starting the second. Double fault is a brutal way to start it for McDonald, who has lost 4 straight points now.
And I'm really wondering if it is those sports interior lights, Mike. Again, it's been an epidemic all weekend long. Sports Interiors, your official lighting and ceiling liner of the ITA. They've done such a good job getting up lights at so many different facilities. Essential to the ecosystem we have here at in college tennis. Of course, shout out to the outdoor lighting team at JMC Lighting, the official outdoor lighting partner of the ITA. That becomes oh so relevant over these next few months, Mike.
So after trading mini breaks, 2-1 here. Big deciding point here at bottom left. Fernley looks to level things. And indeed, he does that for all. Uh-oh. Path is becoming very, very clear with that hold.
So what, 6-1 4-all at 1, 6-4 4-0 at 3, 6-2 2-all at 4. That's the clearest right now for TCU, 1-3-4.
It's clearest, as well as Gorsney with break chances on 5. Sure. I mean, there are just a lot of opportunities right now for TCU.
Yeah, I say we keep this 6 set in the big box because I don't know if we're going to show it much afterwards.
I agree with that. Race to the finish in many other spots.
And just quickly on the war within the war, because you've talked about it all weekend long, what is the purpose of this weekend? To win a national championship, yes, but to see where you're at with your team. And I think this 6th spot in particular for both of these teams, is Jirasek the option? Is McDonald the option? Might this 6th set, first set matter for the sake of this match? Probably not. Does it matter big picture? Absolutely, for both of these coaches. You want to see how these players compete.
Jones, I mean, he's going to be off the court here in 2 minutes.
Yeah, he was down, or he was up a break, then it was even, and then he stepped on the gas pedal. What, 7 of the last 8 games? Might actually be 7 in a row. He was down 4-3. Braswell was back on serve. Yeah.
Yeah, that lollipop of a serve went long. 4-2 for McDonald at the turn. Gorsny did get that break, so it's another set and a break lead for the Horned Frogs. Jong's got a break chance right now as well, and he gets a break. Set and break leads on 3 different courts, plus Fernley at 4-all now on 1. Again, it's just, there's just no real vision for Texas how they get out of these monster holes.
Do I have permission to do a history lesson?
Sure.
Last team win back-to-back championships at the ITA National Indoor Championships. It was the Sonam Singh, Michael Shabazz University of Virginia teams. They won 4 in a row from 08 to 2011. Somdev Devarman, Tret Huey seniors on that first team. Sonam Shabazz seniors on that final team. Hasn't been done in more than a decade. You also look, teams that have won the NCAAs and indoors in the same season. There's only been 4 in the past 20 years, or I should say 21st century. The 03 Illinois team you know very, very well. 2013 Virginia. Those are your only 2 undefeated examples. You then have 2 veteran teams, 17 Virginia, 18 Wake Forest. This TCU team reminds me a lot of those 17 and 18 teams because it's the depth, experience everywhere.
Well, Jirasek a must there. So Fernley does get it to 5-4. Pennington Jones to 5-love.
I hear Brett Macy yelling at me in the background. 2012 USC won them both. They weren't undefeated, though. That's the other example. That's the 4th. Stevie Johnson's final year, of course.
One of those was in Chicago.
Yes. That was the 12, I think.
Okay.
17 was in Charlottesville. 18 was in Seattle. I can see the YouTube videos. I think I said century. Sorry, I meant decade, since the 2010s decade.
How about that change of direction? Ooh. Bold stuff. Jirasek 2-4-all gets the mini break back.
And keep your eye on 1. Right now, Elliot Spizzeri, again, serving up here 4-5, but it happens very quickly, right? 40 love can become a deuce point before you know it.
Also going to have to keep that eye on court number 3 as we're closing in on match points.
We trust that 6 will be ready. I might even go full on 3 now. We don't want to miss a match point. Let's go full on 3. We'll keep our eye on 6. Jack Pennington Jones, the highest world tennis number in all of men's college tennis.
That being called there. Yeah, 3.05 his world tennis number. You can find everyone's.
Yeah. Next closest I see, Arthur Ferry, 3.10. After that, there's a gap.
Both of those guys with 25K titles at the pro level. That is certainly what factors in there.
That'll help. That'll help.
Find everyone's WTN wearecollegetennis.com. Just click on the team links and then find it right next to their player profile. Rare miscue on the day.
I'm thinking for JPJ, what are the reasons for his success? I think it's got to be the Wilson. Of course, Wilson, the official ball, racket, and accessory brand of the ITA. You see that Wilson blade in his hand now. There it is.
It's match point now for Pennington Jones. Tough couple of days at the office for Micah Braswell, no doubt. TCU is one step closer to a national title. as Jack Pennington Jones in straight sets over Micah Braswell, 6-4, 6-love. TCU 2-0.
Clean as a whistle. Pennington Jones struggled for a hot second. You know, again, after taking that early lead, down 4-3 as we go to 4 now. Sandra Jung next closest to the finish line, but up a break, facing break points. 3-2 in that second set. You see it on your screen as we make the transition. But man, Pennington Jones, what a great week for him. Just the different storylines, losing that first set a couple of days ago, coming back with the 3-set win.
Yeah, it does come out of it with 2-1 record at the singles line.
2-1-1, yeah.
I'm
Did
sorry.
finish the one.
Right, of course. But yeah, 2-1 in terms of the stats that he's able to come out of it with, and just, I think more than anything, just kind of settled into a rhythm with a college tennis program, and that is going to serve him very well the rest of the season.
He's just good.
Very good. Break chance here again for Woldie. That caught. It's good from Zhang. Deuce now. We're going to get to 1 here in a moment as well, as obviously that one very close to the conclusion of a second set. Evan McDonald did win a set for Texas at that 6th spot, 7-5 in that breaker. So some semblance of life there. And return is missed, so Zhang maintains that presence out in front. So again, to just kind of summarize here, it is set and break leads for Texas Christian University at the 4 and the 5 line. Let's go up to the 1 spot, Fernley and Spazzeri. For Fernley, as we pop in, he was able to get that hold. So 6-5, 1 game away from the match.
So let's go to the 3 box now. We'll put 4 back in your big screen there. We'll keep 1 on this side. Fomba PY is really loud, and so I might as well throw that on your side at 2, although again, I do think the clearest pathway, you're right, for TCU taking 2 of courts 1, 4, and 5. That's the most likely. That's where they have set and break leads at 4 and 5. Currently a game away at 1. What time is it right now? 1:42 p.m. Eastern time, so 100 minutes of tennis.
Central
time, thank you. Yeah, that's
Indianapolis. You guys go back and forth.
Yeah, I don't even know how Indy works. I just, again, I just say, what time is it? It's tennis time in Indy all the time. But 100 minutes, that is a clean performance so far from TCU. They haven't blinked, not once. Stupid. You know what? They did blink once. Up a break at 3 doubles 70 minutes ago.
Well, this is what we expected.
Yes.
What I expected yesterday from Texas.
Yeah.
It's so hard to sustain excellence over multiple days, and this is just one of those moments, right, where TCU today, to this moment, significantly better. That is not going to be the case if both teams are rested kind of at that same level. I think it's a very close to 50-50 match. Bruce Burke will certainly not make excuses. It's not a one for them. Give credit to TCU if this result does hold. But yeah, it's going to be, you take a real positive out of this weekend, regardless of result for the Longhorns. That did touch off of the top there. So indeed keeps it tight at 30 all. After this game, we're going to switch over to court number 1, as it looks like it will likely be headed to a tiebreak, although it's 30-15 right now.
I want to credit Scotty B in the chat for bringing this to our attention for what it's worth. This is the first of 3 matchups between TCU and Texas. They're playing a home and home in the regular season, non-conference and conference play. Kind of love that decision for these 2 teams. Another interesting question as we look 10,000-foot view, what we learned this weekend. Nathan Campbell asked, would you have picked Ohio State had Cannon Kingsley, their All-American, number 2 singles player, number 3 doubles player, been healthy this week.
Yes. I was picking them regardless of, obviously maybe 60%, 70%, whatever it may be. I still thought they were going to be Texas regardless.
I would answer that this way. I thought there was an inner circle. I thought Ohio State, I thought TCU, I thought Michigan, and then Virginia out of respect, as we see.
We need to go quickly to one on the full screen. It is match point for Jake Fernley. He's got 2 looks at it. Sorry to interrupt, Alex, but yeah, match point alert.
We'll hold that thought.
On court number 1. Just wide. Oh, good rip, but just wide from Fernley. Triple threat, deciding point, break point, match point. Point for the breaker. Fernley looks like he's going to take it on the ad side. Spizzirri stays alive, fighting off 2 match points to send this into a breaker. You want to go to a 3-box here? I think we should. Yes. I'm going to just say it for myself. Yeah. 1, 4, and 5 would be the 3 courts we need to focus on right now.
Keep 1 in the center, 4 and 5 on those sides. Couldn't agree with you more. As again, you see on your screen, that's an interesting update. PY 4-1 up in that second set on 2. But I agree. Let's put 1 in the big box for the breaker. Right now, Sander Jong still 6-2, 4-3. He'll serve up a break, setting a break at that number 4 spot. Same deal for Seb Gorsny, who he's got a chance for separation. 6-4, 3-1. He's up 15-30 in Cleve Harper's service game. Double break almost feels like match. Love the jumping fist pump from Spizzirri, by the way. Something you only see in college tennis.
I don't know if that contact point there for Jake Fernley way back behind the baseline. He doesn't like it either, apparently.
He agrees. De facto match point, I'll say it. Court number 5, 15-40, 3 break point chances for the freshman Seb Gorsny.
Been a lot of pressure from Fernley moving forward towards that backhand wing of Spizzirri throughout this match. Pulled wide. Yeah. So Gorsny 4-1 2-break lead.
We talk a lot about the hands for Gorsny. How about the movement? How about the size? I know he cedes some ground when playing defensive tennis, but he can do it well. Scooting around the court right now is the freshman. He's got that set double break lead on 5. Meanwhile, Sander Jong does get the hold for 6-2, 5-3. So they're a game away on 4, 2 games away on 5.
And 3 points away on 1.
Yeah.
Just that whole math thing.
I was like, I'm leaving that one for you.
Yeah, I'll call myself out on it. You could have called me out. I wouldn't have been mad. I wouldn't have been mad.
4 points away now for both guys as we make our first turn on one. We'll stay there. Westhoff, get ready to go individually, though, on 4, please. If Sanderjong gets to a match point, we'll obviously throw that in the big screen. Maybe even get a 1-4 double box ready just in case we have a double match point scenario, please. And again, I see a comment in the chat from Cyrus. What happened at that 6 single spot? Apologies, we pulled away. It was a first set to McDonald, 7-6.
Yeah, it's always one of those difficult things where you have to choose between match points potentially, and obviously with TCU starting to run away with it, that's...
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally of college tennis. Your order of operations. Match point, set point, break point, game point, Elliott Spizzirri point. Sanders so good. 30 all now on 4. He's 2 points away. Westhoff, can we just go to the 1-4 double box? I'll feel less stressed knowing we're not going to miss those match points. Let's just do it. Better safe than sorry, right, Mike?
I agree. I'm going to get a match point immediately in the 4.
Ooh.
And a mini break for Texas on 1.
Little case of the double faults going around. It'll happen in a national championship match.
And on top of it, legs are...
Yeah, and day 4, perfectly put. Sets on his racket. 5-4, Elliott Spizzirri leads in the breaker. Meanwhile, it's match points for Sanderjong. Stay in the split screen here, but you see left side of your screen, the TCU senior. A chance to put his Horned Frogs 1 point away from back-to-back indoor titles.
Great ball from Spizzirri. Probably could have called that baseline ball out as well, but comes through with the good 6-4.
Sanderjong does it again. 6-2, 6-3. At the number 4 spot, is that your most outstanding player of this event? That's something to debate afterwards. For now, TCU's 1 point away.
That is called just back. Yeah, so 6-5. Still, though, on Spizzirri's racket. We're going to get to 5 here in a moment. It is 4-1 there in favor of Grosvenor, facing a 30-all moment against Cleve Harper. Elliott Spizzirri survives. He's forced a 3rd set at the 1 line. It is a positive moment for Texas right now, but let's go down to 5 on this full screen. Cleve Harper not able to grab a break there late. And Sebastian Gorsny, 1 game away.
And that is awfully pretty from Gorsny. And you hear Coach Roditi yelling down to his team. Get active, get animated. Horned Frogs are 3 points away. Make it 2. Sebastian Gorsny. Looking to send his Horned Frogs into the winner's circle. We've reached the moment. Match point, Gorsny. It's Sebastian Gorsny, 6'4", 6'1". And for the first time in more than a decade, we have a back-to-back national indoor champion. It's the TCU Horned Frogs, 4-0 over the University of Texas, your 2023 Division I men's national team indoor champions. And we can say it now. It just feels right. From the start of this weekend in Chicago, TCU's looked the part. 5-0 win on day number 1 of this event. You look for them in their quarterfinal victory, the 4-0 win there, flip those scores. Still, yesterday, pushed, yet never truly in doubt in a 4-2 win over Kentucky. And then today, they turned on the Jets. Under 2 hours for this TCU team to get over the finish line. That is a testament to the depth, the talent, the preparation, and yes, the execution for these TCU Horned Frogs. And on the other side of the equation, of course, a tip of the cap to Bruce Burke and this University of Texas Longhorn team. So much credit has to be given to the guys. Spizzirri, Waldy, PY, Cleve Harper. This unit has stuck together through all sorts of injuries, all sorts of adversity, had the opportunity to capture a first national title. They ultimately take and reach their first final, but in the end, it's TCU through to a second consecutive national indoor title. And now we're going to go down on court. Trophy ceremony about to get underway. I'm going to step aside. Mike is as well, but stick with us. We'll have coverage of the entire trophy presentation here at Crack Rackets.
to court number 3 for our trophy presentation. Fans, that does conclude today's championship match of the 2023 Paine Schwartz Partners ITA Division I National Men's Team Indoor Championships, presented by Grosvenor Capital Management. First, if we can, one more round of applause for the TCU Horned Frogs and the Texas Longhorns on a phenomenal final and a magnificent week here in Chicago. First, we'd like to introduce for a couple of words ITA CEO, Dr. Jim Russell.
Thank you. What an amazing event, the height of our sport, two great teams, lots of excitement, lining up. But personally, and on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Intercollegiate Tennis Association, first of all, I want to thank the University of Illinois and their incredible operations team for being our host. So let's do it for them. Brad Dancer is the head men's coach and is a great leader in our sport and has been a great visionary for helping to bring this championship back on a regular basis. I also want to thank our friends at Excess Tennis. It's an incredible facility that has a wonderful mission, not only for tennis, but for education. And I want to thank Kamau Murray and their board of directors as well. So let's hear it for them. Ultimately, college tennis is about higher education, and what's very exciting to me is not only do we have two incredible tennis teams, we have two amazing universities, and I'm just really excited when I not only see the level of play, but know that all of these student athletes are great ambassadors for our sport on their campuses, in their communities, and as they travel around the country and around the world. It's an exciting thing for me to come to work every day. And I'm a real tennis junkie, which is why being here for the whole week really makes my day and my week and my year. The ITA is not only the governing body of college tennis. We're also a coaches association, and I want to congratulate and thank two great coaches, Bruce Burke and David Roditi, and their teams as well. Events like this don't happen without a lot of hard work. We've already referenced Illinois and their ops team, but I want to give a special shout out to the incredible staff of the ITA. They work tirelessly on behalf of our sport, both our championships team and our communications team. Hopefully you all follow our website regularly, our social media. But we're one of the only coaches associations that actually puts on a lot of these championships, and we're really excited that we do it in partnership with a bunch of great friends. So I'm going to pass it over at this point to one of our other partners. But right before I do that, I would be remiss if I also didn't thank our officials. They're usually lined up here, but they work really hard as well. So congratulations again to both teams, and I'm going to turn it over to Alex Gruskin, who's one of our partners from Racquets. One of the other things we were really excited about this year was the incredible elevation that you guys did, and you're really fans and passionate about our sport. So congratulations to both the teams, and Alex, take it away.
Thank you very much, everyone. Give it up one more time for our ITA CEO, Tim Russell. It's funny, the older you get, the more you realize that cliches make sense. You come out of a weekend like this, you wish you could hand a winner's trophy to everyone. Unfortunately, we aren't able to do that, but if you were with us at all this weekend, you saw the incredible fight of our finalists. Let's welcome up head coach Bruce Burke from our men's indoor finalists, the University of Texas.
Okay, well, thanks, Alex, and I guess first and most importantly, thanks to congratulations to TCU. You guys were super impressive all week, and I've always thought your players do it with class every time we play. So, good job, all of you guys. You earned it, and the coaches did a great job. Also, thanks to the ITA for putting on this event. I know it's not easy; it's a lot of work, and I felt like we were here for some long days, but you guys were probably here for 15 or 16 hours every day. So thanks for all the work you do for college tennis, and I do think the officials do a really good job at this tournament. No knock on the officials that we run into at other places, but I definitely feel like when we come to the NCAA championships and the ITA championships, we have the best officials out here. So thanks to you guys, and I know I'm not the only coach that feels really lucky to be able to do what they do and to be able to work with the group of guys that we have. I feel like I couldn't be prouder of our team, and I couldn't be happier and feel more fortunate to work with a group of guys like we have this year. It's fun for me to see them get better at tennis and see them mature and see them start to take ownership and leadership with the team. And I'm really proud of the effort you guys put in this week. And so congratulations to you. And I know David feels, I'm sure, similarly about his team, but I feel really proud and lucky to be able to coach you guys.
One more time for the University of Texas, and I will ask CEO Tim Russell, step back forward if we can hand our runners-up trophy to the University of Texas. Again, one more time, let's give it up for the Texas Longhorns. And I don't expect all of you know the college tennis history. That's why I'm here. But just so you know, it's been more than a decade since we've seen a back-to-back champion at these National Indoor Men's Championships. That's what we have on our hands. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a rousing round of applause to head coach David Roditi and this TCU men's tennis team.
Well, Bruce, you took on my lines. But I'm going to say it anyways. First of all, University of Texas, Bruce, Brandon, Dawei, nobody works harder than you guys, and I totally agree. Total class. We know each other really well. I know you're leaving us, and we're going to get a little divorce here coming up. You guys going to the SEC, but it's always a battle. Leave it on the court, and it's always a pleasure competing against you guys. Today, our guys play well, but your road to the finals of this tournament was impressive. For you guys to beat Wake and then Ohio State, and then Michigan back to back to back. I feel like that might have played in our favor in unbelievable tournament, and we'll see you in like 10 days. So. Also, to all our sponsors, Mr. Meister and Mr. Maher from Capital Management, thank you so much for supporting this. Wilson, Tennis Point, Cracked Racquets, and the USTA. You know, it's competitive out there. It's competitive, and we all need support. And we believe that college tennis is an unbelievable product, and it's very humbling to get companies to support us. So thank you so much for supporting us. ITA, Tim, I agree with you. It's the best event in college tennis, which makes all of you fans here coming on the road to come and watch this. If there was one event as a fan that I would pick to go to, it would be this event. It's unbelievable what you get to see over 4 days. The decisions you have made as the CEO of the ITA to control and to emphasize sportsmanship from the players. I believe that this week you got to see what you wanted to see. I thought that was the best sportsmanship all across all 16 teams that I've ever seen. And we let the crowd do their job, and we let the players do their job. Thank you. And thank you to the ITA staff working 24/7 for many, many weeks. Women's championship and the men's championship. Now to our team. I mean, of course, Bruce said it. Couldn't be more proud of these guys. Nobody does a better job getting these guys ready than our coach, Devin Bowen. The guy's a machine. The guy's a machine. Don't keep up with him if he just shows up every day and gets the job done and gets these guys. So proud of you guys, for you freshmen, you rookies, to come out like that today in this scenario. That says a lot about you, about your character, and the leadership that we have from the rest of you, our support, every one of you, all 9 of you. No way we would be standing here if 9 of you didn't do your job to perfection. Couldn't be more proud. Enjoy it. I know we're flying home today, but you do have the weekend off, so we'll see what we might have to have some talks. And last but not least, our fans. Our fans, you come all the way from Fort Worth, leave your families behind, leave your work behind. Maybe it's a pleasure, but thank you so much. You guys are always supporting us. Doesn't matter where we go. We couldn't do this without you as well. And just from the bottom of my heart to all Frog fans out there, this is for all of you. We'll share it with every single player out there. Go Frogs.
And one more time, presenting the Champions Trophy, ITA CEO Tim Russell. Let's give it up for your 2023 Men's Indoors Champion, TCU.
Frogs.
Where's Johnny? Here with everybody. Hey, Johnny. Right way up. Guys, let's go back to that. There we go. Can't figure these out.
Showgirls here.
That does conclude the 2023 ITA Division I National Men's Team Indoor Championship. Thanks again to the University of Illinois, the Intercollegiate Tennis Association, Excess Tennis Village, Paine Sports Partners, Grosvenor Capital Management, and all our players and coaches for their participation in this year's event. We'll see you next year.
We're talking, and
all right, you may have heard a peak there. I screwed up the audio. There we go. I now have it covered, and I get to ask that again because I think I can do better with the question. But guess what, folks? We are back here. We enjoyed, hopefully you enjoyed that coverage of the championship trophy presentation. But now I am joined by a man who helped make this championship possible for the TCU Horned Frogs. Welcome onto our broadcast, one of the senior leaders for this TCU team, Sander Jong. Sander, I'll try that again. For you guys, back-to-back championships, what does that mean to you in this program?
Thank you, Alex. Well, it means so much to us. I remember me and a couple guys with the team were talking a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking, and we were like, oh, it would be really cool if we could get the back-to-back championship, and we really wanted it. We worked our asses off for it, and we got it. So I couldn't be more proud of the guys, and I'm super happy.
Yeah, talk me through the match today. This is a Texas team you guys know well, obviously a conference foe for you all, a team you guys are 3-0 against since 2020. Obviously, you've had some success. That said, you saw what they did against Ohio State. You saw what they did against Michigan. What was the game plan for you all today? How important was it for you all to go out and take the doubles point?
Oh, yeah, it was very important. Obviously, they beat Michigan and Ohio State the last 2 days, so we knew they were a really good team. And for us to come out and win the doubles point, they really put all the momentum on our side to have a good start in singles, and that's what we did. We played really well in singles, and we got the W. So.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. And you talk about that singles lineup. I mean, yourself at 4 singles, that's a joke. Seb at 5, it's a joke. And whether it's Tomas, whether it's Pedro, whether it's Louis at that 6 spot, I feel from afar that you guys can find 4 singles victories anywhere if you need to. I'm curious if you feel that way as a group and what that sort of confidence in one another does for you personally.
Yeah, well, so far we haven't lost a doubles point yet, so we didn't need to. But even if we lose the doubles point, I'm very confident in every one of our guys to to be able to get the W in the singles. And that's also what helps me on the court, knowing that I'm very confident in all of the guys on the team. So yeah, I couldn't be more proud of the guys. Like,
yeah,
so happy.
I do want to ask you about one freshman in particular, and I know Seb Gorsney had a fantastic week as well, but I want to ask you about your partner, Jack Pennington-Jones, because that was a little wild card, right? You'd been playing with Louis. You guys are a top 10 team in the country, but he swaps in at that number 2 double spot with you. How do you feel you performed? And you mentioned it there. You guys didn't drop a doubles point. You've yet to so far this season. You know, what does winning that point do for you guys overall?
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, when you win the doubles point, you take all the momentum into the singles. And yeah, me and Jack just started playing together. And I feel like we aren't playing our best yet, and we could do a whole lot better, but
that's not your best. That scares me.
So we're gonna keep improving, and hopefully we keep winning the doubles point.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, for this group in particular, yourself, Jake, Luke, Tomas, a group that's been around been around college tennis for a while now. I talked to some of your teammates, and it felt like you guys had, they talked about the focus you guys all had this offseason, that it was a goal to bring a national championship to Fort Worth here in your final season. Again, I asked you this earlier, what it means to the team, but for you personally, as a fifth year who's been through all these different things, what does it mean to you to start the season out in this fashion? Where do you guys go from here?
Yeah, well, we couldn't have started the season better than we did so far. But we've never done very well at the outdoors tournament. So this year we want to win indoors and outdoors. So we're gonna do everything we can to make that happen.
Absolutely. Well, I know your team is waiting on you to take some photos, so I'm gonna let you get out there, Sander Jong. Congratulations so much, man, on winning the title. And good luck to you the rest of the way. Yeah, of course. Take care. Sander Jong again, and helping to help capture the 2023 ITA Team Indoor Championships. I've gotten the text from Coach Roditi, so hopefully now we can send him off on his way. Again, a massive thank you to Sander for taking the time to speak with us. I know Mike Cation is working his way back up here as well. As soon as he do, we'll offer you all a proper send-off. But look, I'll editorialize for a moment here. Oh my God, is this TCU team good? And I have been around some of the great teams in college tennis historically, the 2017 UVA team, 2018 Wake Forest. You go all the way back to the Stevie Johnson USC teams, some of the Georgia teams of yesteryear, Stanford, in the 1990s. What did all of those teams have? They had experience, they had depth, they had talent everywhere. They had multiple pathways to 4 total points. That's precisely what this team has in the TCU Horned Frogs. And you heard Sander Jong say it. Their focus is May. They want to continue to get better, bring home an NCAA championship, something this program has never accomplished. But, I mean, again, you can see on court, Sanders out there now. Watch this hug he's about to receive. The leaping hug. They still got it. Even all these hours later, the joy on head coach David Roditi's face, the joy on associate head coach Devin Bowen's face. Somewhere right now in Mexico, volunteer assistant Nick Chappell celebrating before he goes out on court as well. And you just think about all the talents, the Cam Norries, the Facundo Lagunases. I mean, obviously last year you had a guy like Juan Carlos Aguilar come into the program as well. Just so much. Alistair Gray's got to be celebrating somewhere. I didn't forget about you, Al. Again, all this talent that's come over the years through this TCU team. I believe for Coach Roditi, 13th year at the helm of the program. He now has 2 national indoor championships. And let's not forget, this team was the top seed at the NCAA championships last year. Yes, they fell short of their goal at that event, but we saw the way they responded this week. And now Mike Cation joins me back here in our broadcast. It's the perfect way for us to end the weekend. It's sweaty again. Oh, no, I forgot about it. It was going to be like that again. I apologize, but
no, all good.
Come back to us now, obviously, here in the booth. And, again, TCU 4-0 winners today, Mike. We were a little bit, I don't want to say afraid's the right word, but we thought this might be the scenario. And again, not to diminish Texas, this tells me about TCU, that they are ready to get the job done.
Yeah, I think today is about TCU. The weekend for me is about Texas.
Sure.
I think with, obviously TCU gets the national title, they get the trophy to take home, but the winner to me is Texas, what they were able to do over the last 2 days to reestablish themselves as one of the top 5 programs in the country. And they're going to be a threat, especially if they can just stay healthy over the next couple of months.
Yeah, I'd go put Spizzirri, Waldy, Cleve Harper, Shoulder, put them in the freezer. I'd just be like, you know what? We've got enough ranked wins. We should be good the rest of the way, right?
It's a tough balance because you obviously need to be match tough.
Sure.
And obviously they're going to have some great competition. You mentioned it during the broadcast, the fact that they're going to be playing a couple matches against TCU in 10 days or so. You want to be match tough. You also want to make sure that you're peaking at 2 points. And we've talked about it a lot, peaking at 2 points during the college season right now in February, and then once again in May. And so that's going to be the balance for Coach Bruce Burke, also the training staff. Make sure that they are rested, make sure everything gets as healthy as it can so that they're battle tested and then they're ready for May.
Yeah, very well put. Now, on the flip side, this TCU team, I used the word historic earlier, and obviously there's a little hyperbole put in there, but just for context, since 2010, 2012 USC, the final year of the Stevie Johnson four-peat team, they won both titles. You had 2013 UVA, the last undefeated national champion in men's college tennis. They won both titles. 2017, you had UVA again winning both. 2018, Wake Forest wins it both. Hasn't happened since then. It's a big burden, obviously, to place on these TCU Horned Frogs, but we'll end with them, Mike. They have all the ingredients, do they not?
They do. Obviously, health always that question. Yeah. But yeah, the flexibility that they have and just their incredibly professional approach to doubles and just the way that they are going to continue to hammer home to these teams that to these players, Roditi and Bowen, just, hey, take care of business, continue developing, because while we might mention Fernley a lot and Fomba and Sander Jong, again, an incredible weekend for him, but you've got Sebastian Gorsny and you've got Jack Pennington-Jones.
Yeah.
They could be in the top 3 of this lineup very quickly as well. So flexibility, the name of the game for TCU, and they're going to be a danger come May.
We use the big H word, health. I don't want to say this team is health proof because no one is immune to injuries. But to your point, even if it's Fernley, even if it's Fomba who get injured, okay, so we're sliding everyone up a spot. We've seen Fomba be very good at the one spot. Sander has to play 2 or 3 in a pinch. You're not worried. JPJ, the highest world tennis number in all of college tennis, and he's playing 3 right now. So it's not just the depth. It's that depth allows them to be, again, not injury proof, but injury resistant. They're able to sustain a few lumps here and there. And again, I don't think they've hit their ceiling yet. Like, I don't think they had a match where all 6 players played perfect tennis, Mike. I think this team's only going to get better come May.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch. And the good thing is, with you guys and Cracked Racquets, what you do, you will be providing a lot of that coverage over the next 3 months as we do head towards the NCAA Outdoor Championships come May.
Perfectly said. Well, with that in mind, a couple thank yous, and then we'll wrap, obviously, our broadcast here. First of all, to the entire ITA team, Justin and Cody, Zach, those 3 in particular, I've been a thorn in their side for 2 consecutive weeks now. I'm sure.
Joe some love.
Yeah, Joe. That was next. Trust me. I was working my way around it. Those 3 in particular have to deal with me on the day-to-day aspect, but Joe Gentry, Corey Brooks, Tim Russell, the entire ITA team who have been so tolerant of all of our nonsense here at Cracked Racquets, have embraced what we are trying to do and grow this game. We appreciate the opportunity to do so again here today. To the XS Tennis Village, obviously, thank you to them, the entire University of Illinois support team for all they did to make our weekend comfortable. And of course, the 2 most important shout outs to me first, back in Indianapolis. None of this happens without super producer Daniel Westoff, Cracked Racquets CEO Dalton Thieneman. They do more behind the scenes than any 2 people I know to help make my life extraordinary. So I love them both. Thank you for their efforts. And then this sport is always elevated with the presence of the one Mike Cation. Of course, the polish you bring, the passion, the just an intensity from start to finish. It reflects everything we love in college tennis. The whole reason I did this job was to try and find a scheme to spend some time with you over the years. I look up to you, view you as a role model, and to have the opportunity to sit next to you for 4 days consecutively, a dream come true. So thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it,
for
buddy.
Tolerating my nonsense. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast.
You guys do a lot of hard work for college tennis, and it definitely shows in these weekends.
I appreciate that. Well, then, with all of that in mind, the love session is over. For the fantastic Mike Cation to my left, our super producer Daniel Westoff, Cracked Racquets CEO Dalton Thieneman in Indianapolis, the entire ITA team in Chicago, and to all of you college tennis fans who, by the way, we love as well. Thank you for trusting us to steer the ship. Thank you for tuning in throughout the course of the weekend. To all of you out there, I'm your host, Alex Gruskin. You've been watching our Cracked Racquets coverage of the 2022 ITA Division I National Men's Team Indoor Championships. TCU, your 2023 champions.
Tennis is superb.
Tennis is fire.
Tennis is sick.
Let's go. Tennis can change the world. Come on.
This is tennis too. Good morning.
It's my first time.
Not mine.
It's about time you play tennis like the pros, and now you can. Swing Vision is an app nearer the gods. It uses AI to track your shot speed and placement using just your phone. Opponent giving you dodgy line calls? Out. Challenge it instantly right from your wrist. Download Swing Vision for free and bring the Grand Slam experience home.
Adidas Tennis is bringing the fun and flair to the courts in 2023, and you can find the latest Melbourne collection available now at tennis-point.com, your online tennis retailer. Tennis Point. Advantage you.
Introducing A-Peak Tennis and A-Peak Coach. Everything tennis players need to become mentally tough, both on and off the court. And everything coaches need to help players reach their full potential. Because we are extremely confident that A-Peak does work, we are offering free 1-month split testing to validate A-Peak's effectiveness when implemented correctly. With split testing, we'll have half your players use A-Peak, while the other half does not. Then, we'll conduct pre- and post-testing to demonstrate A-Peak's value. To take advantage of this offer, email us at apeak@apeak.com.
Tennis. What does it mean to you? Everything? Us too. For fun, for health, for life. Tennis Point. Get the gear your game needs.
So at Oklahoma State, we've always prided ourselves on having one of the premier tennis facilities in the country, One of the aspects that wasn't living up to that was our indoor lighting, and so we partnered with Schwartz Interiors, who had the reputation of being the best in the business, and they were the easiest for us to work with. Dan and his group came in from day one and gave us a plan that would allow us to have the best lighting. And with us hosting the 2020 NCAA National Championships, that's what we wanted. We wanted to showcase our tennis facility as being one of the best in the country and being a venue that would allow us to host the best championship possible.
Tennis is superb.
Tennis is fire.
Tennis is sick.
Let's go. Tennis can change the world. Come on.
This is tennis too. Good morning.
It's my first time.
Not mine.
It's about time you play tennis like the pros, and now you can. Swing Vision is an app nearer the gods. It uses AI to track your shot speed and placement using just your phone. Opponent giving you dodgy line calls? Out! Challenge it instantly right from your wrist. Download Swing Vision for free and bring the Grand Slam experience home.
Adidas Tennis is bringing the fun and flair to the courts in 2023, and you can find the latest Melbourne collection available now at tennis-point.com, your online tennis retailer. Tennis Point. Advantage you.
Introducing A-Peak Tennis and A-Peak Coach. Everything tennis players need to become mentally tough, both on and off the court. And everything coaches need to help players reach their full potential. Because we are extremely confident that A-Peak does work, we are offering free 1-month split testing to validate A-Peak's effectiveness when implemented correctly. With split testing, we'll have half your players use A-Peak, while the other half does not. Then, we'll conduct pre- and post-testing to demonstrate A-Peak's value. To take advantage of this offer, email us at apeak@apeak.com.
Tennis. What does it mean to you? Everything? Us too. For fun, for health, for life. Tennis Point. Get the gear your game needs.
So at Oklahoma State, we've always prided ourselves on having one of the premier tennis facilities in the country. One of the aspects that wasn't living up to that was our indoor lighting, and so we partnered with Schwartz Interiors, who had the reputation of being the best in the business, and they were the easiest for us to work with. Dan and his group came in from day one and gave us a plan that would allow us to have the best lighting. And with us hosting the 2020 NCAA National Championships, that's what we wanted. We wanted to showcase our tennis facility as being one of the best in the country.